Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Crime this hour with episodes of Dragnet, Night Watch, Suspense, Mr. District Attorney, and we'll make it nice at the end. Start your weekend on a nice note with an episode of Claudia. That's all straight ahead on this TGI Friday, 24th day of May, 145th day of the year, 221 days left. And your trivia question this time around, what's the name of the singer-songwriter whose original name before he changed it was Robert Zimmerman? We'll see if you can figure out who he is. In 1844, on this date, Samuel Morse transmitted the first telegraph message in which he asked, "What hath God wrought?" In 1883, the Brooklyn Bridge linking Manhattan and Brooklyn in New York City opened to traffic. W.T. McCullough of Boston opened the first public garage on this date in 1899. One could rent space for selling, storing, and repairing vehicles. In 1935, Major League Baseball's first night game played under the lights at Cincinnati's Crosley Field as the hometown Reds defeated Philadelphia 2-1. The switch for the floodlights thrown by President Roosevelt. 1958, United Press and the International News Service merged to form United Press International in 1958. 1976, the British and French Concords made their first commercial flights. In 2000, Israeli troops pulled out of Lebanon after 18 consecutive years of occupation. Also in 2000, the House of Representatives approved permanent normal trade relations with China after quite contentious debate.
I believe that the administration's policy is fundamentally immoral, and this Congress is ready to ratify a fundamentally immoral policy, a policy that has no morality behind it.
And quite frankly, I don't understand the White House. I'm going to tell it right the way it is. The White House will not wise up until there is a Chinese rocket stuffed right up their assets. They are so dumb on this issue, they could collectively throw themselves at the ground and miss. I don't want to hear any more mumbo-jumbo about trade. We're getting our clock cleaned. China knows it, and they're taking it all the way to the bank with a smile on their face.
If we end normal trading relations with China, then how do we influence change? The days when the U.S. could act like a bull in a china shop are over. Countries simply go elsewhere if they don't like the sounds that are coming from ours.
Maintaining this strategy of engagement is the wave of the future. We have to recognize that if we are going to do everything that we can to help the people in the United States and the people in China, we must maintain normal trade relations.
China wasn't happy either. They were unhappy about human rights conditions that had been attached by lawmakers. In this date in 2002, Russia and the U.S. signed a temporary strategic arms reduction treaty.
The deep reductions, which are described in the treaty, take both sides down to in the neighborhood of 1,700 to 2,200. The treaty does not address the numbers of warheads that conceivably would be appropriate for either side, for replacement warheads to deal with technical issues that conceivably could occur, and that is not addressed by the treaty, as it should not be, in my view.
Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld. Treaty was in force from June 2003 until February 2011, when it was superseded by the New START Treaty. It was on this date in 2022 a mass shooting occurred at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, resulting in the deaths of 21 people, 19 of them children. Some of the problem there was the police chief. He took minimal action. He got canned as police chief and forced to resign from the Uvalde City Council. Among those passing away on this date in history, astronomer Nicholas Copernicus, Secretary of State John Foster Dulles, also composer-musician Duke Ellington. Vincent J. McMahon, the father to Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the most recent head of the WWE prior to their sale and to his being forced out because he was not a nice man, especially where women were involved. Also passing away on this date, Irish actor Edward Mulhare, Dick Martin of Rowan and Martin, and passing away a year ago today, Tina Turner. Let's see. Born on this date was Julius Caesar, also politician Wilbur Mills, and German-born actress Lily Palmer, all celebrating birthdays in heaven on this date.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
We asked you who Robert Zimmerman was earlier. You know him by another name, Bob Dylan. Born on this date in 1941, wrote Blowin' in the Wind, really famous in the 60s. He began his career as a folk singer, influenced pop music with his intelligent lyrics and his folk rock style. Yes, it is Bob Dylan's 83rd birthday today. You knew him as Radar O'Reilly in MASH, and he was the first Charlie Brown in the musical You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. Gary Berghoff, 81 today. Singer Patti LaBelle is 80. Elvis's ex-wife Priscilla Presley, 79. The daughter of Johnny Cash, Roseanne Cash, 69. He was Curly in the 2012 Three Stooges movie. And Mad TV actor, comedian Will Sasso, 49. Country singer Billy Gilman is 36. NASCAR's Joey Logano is 34. And turning 86 years old today, all that stuff has preserved him rather well, Tommy Chong.
Hey, man, which one of you guys is the DJ?
Oh, that's me, Wink Dickerson from KRUT Radio.
Oh, far out, then. Hey,
No,
listen,
that's
man,
Wink. Wink Dickerson from KRUT Radio.
Oh, yeah, well, far out. Listen, man, do you want to give me your name, man? I'm supposed to introduce you after the next act, Dave.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's Wink Dickerson from KRUT Radio.
Yeah, Dave?
Yeah, Dave, come on, man, open up. I think the cops saw me.
Dave's not here.
Tell us, Bob, here's the question I ask of all our contestants. What made you drop out?
Well, a lot of people think it was the 400 acid trips they took, you know.
Uh-huh, but what was it really, Bob?
One day I played Black Sabbath at 78 speed, man.
And then what happened?
I saw God.
You saw God. Well, that sounds like true enlightenment to me, Bob.
With Cheech Marin, Tommy Chong, 86 years old today. Those just a few of the people celebrating the 24th day of May as their birthday. And if this is your birthday...
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Am I weird for following Tommy Chong with Mrs. Miller? I don't know. Anyway, a crime that wasn't a crime, but a crime will happen next here as an episode of Dragnet starring Jack Webb from 73 years ago, May 24th, 1951, The Big Mailman. That's up next here on this Friday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You know, a fire that is raging out of control, a fire that isn't burning in an open fireplace or a closed furnace, but a fire that is burning all over the house, destroying everything it touches. That's the fire we all live in fear of. The sound of fire engines racing by in the dead of night isn't an exciting sound. It's a frightening sound. And the only kind of comfort we derive from hearing it is a kind of a small, uneasy relief that it isn't happening to us. Small and uneasy because we know that it could be happening to us. We all hope that it never will. But that's a futile kind of hope, unless we take active steps to see that it doesn't. And the steps to prevent such a fire happening to us are really simple. Here they are. Don't smoke in bed And don't lose track of that cigarette you're smoking somewhere around the house. Don't store up old rags and papers. Clean them out. Don't put up with defective wiring and old frayed cords. Don't use cleaning fluids that will catch fire. Don't leave matches in reach of small children. Just 5 steps. Follow them. If you don't, you're gambling with fire, and the odds are overwhelmingly against you.
All right, now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we go on the search for a mail thief, Harvey Fletcher. In this episode of Dragnet from 73 years ago, May 24th, 1951, The Big Mailman.
The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to forgery detail. A United States postal inspector comes to your office. You've received the same complaints he has. Somebody is stealing mail in your city. Your job? Help get him.
Friends, compare Fatima with any other king-size cigarette. You'll find a world of difference. Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality.
Quality of tobaccos. The finest domestic and Turkish varieties. Extra mild, superbly blended. To give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, round, perfect cigarettes. Rolled in the finest paper money can buy. Manufactured in the newest and most modern of all cigarette factories.
Quality. Even to the appearance of the bright, clean, golden yellow package. Carefully wrapped and sealed. To bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
So compare Fatima yourself. Today.
You'll find Fatima's now cost the same as other long cigarettes. But your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Buy Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, March 3rd. It was raining in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of forgery detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Captain Harry Elliott. My name's Friday. It was 7:45 a.m. when I got to room 29. Forgery detail.
Morning, Joe.
Hi, Ben. Sure coming down out there.
Yeah?
Look at this coat. It's soaking wet.
Is that the same trench coat, that English one?
Yeah. Ever since I had it cleaned, it seems to soak up the water a little more.
Does it leak?
Oh, no. It just seems to take on a little more water. Keeps me dry.
Got something to show you, Joe.
Yeah?
Remember that old raincoat of mine used to leak up through the seams over the shoulders?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Take a look at this.
What do you got there?
Pretty neat, huh?
Well, yeah, what is it?
My new raincoat. Never know, would you? It's small, compact, the whole thing's hardly any bigger than a pack of cigarettes. Not bad, huh?
Yeah. Where'd you get it?
Wife bought it for me. Amy says it's regular full-size raincoat, size 40 long.
Amy says, so didn't you try it on?
Oh, no, you know how they make something like this. It's made out of plastic, size isn't too important. Just a plain coat. Slips right on over your suit, just like any other raincoat. I know it'll fit.
You haven't worn it yet, huh?
No, it hadn't started to rain when I left home.
Could I see that?
Sure. Real compact, isn't it? Now, something like this is really practical.
Yeah,
Little package like that, you carry it around with you all the time. Never take up any room at all.
Yeah. What's it look like?
Just like that little pouch there. Same stuff. It's transparent, you know, regular plastic.
Well, could we look at it inside, I mean?
Okay, let's see.
Well, here, you better do it.
Yeah, okay. Well, just unzip it here. Sure is compact, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here we go. Look there, Joe. All folded up nice and neat.
Yeah.
Sure is lightweight, too. Plastic's great, isn't it?
Fine, yeah.
There we go. Full-size raincoat. See there? Fits fine. Never know a full-size coat would go in a thing like that little pouch there, would you? It's no bigger than a tobacco pouch.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You ought to try it on, Joe. Never know you had anything on. Sure is light tonight.
Yeah, I can see.
Now we just put it back in the pouch till I'm ready for it. Let's see now. Collar goes up. Front folds in like this. No, that isn't right. Goes this way. Let's put it down on the table. That'll be better. Yeah, that's better. Now, here we go. Now we fold the arms in here. Now the bottom part comes up this way. Now we fold it over and again. Easy, isn't it? Just follow the crease marks and you're home, Joe.
Yeah.
Now, if you'll hand me that little pouch, Joe.
Oh, yeah. Here you go.
Oh, thank you. Now, no, I guess that's too big. Well, we'll make one more fold, guy.
Yeah.
Well, it's small enough this way, but it's too fat, isn't it?
You better watch it there. You're going to tear that little sack.
That's funny. I folded right over the old creases there. Too fat, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, couldn't you just carry it in your pocket like that without the pouch?
Sure, that's it. I'll slip it in my coat pocket. No, that won't do, Joe. It bulges right out. It's kind of springy. Jumps out, just like a piece of pongee silk.
Yeah, it seems to.
Well, it's still lightweight and easy to handle.
Sure. Plenty easy to carry just like that anyway.
Yeah. Well-made little pouch there. Seems a shame not to be able to use it.
You smoke a pipe?
No, you know that. Just cigarette. Yeah, I'll find some use for it. Probably 100 things a fellow could use a little pouch like this for if he could just think of them right off.
Yeah, that's right.
Riley, Romero, you want to step in here for a minute?
Right, Captain.
You fellows know Inspector Smith, Post Office Department?
Sure, how are you?
Romero?
Good to see you, Leo.
How you doing, Joe? Sit down, won't you?
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Inspector Smith's over here on that mail thief case that we've been working on.
Oh, yeah. Did you receive those reports we sent over to you yesterday?
No, I haven't been to the office yet. Came straight over here.
Well, burglar turned it over to us yesterday afternoon. Ben and I ran it down. Seems to us like it might fit in somewhere here.
Miller and Ashton have probably got your reports now. I was just going to call in. You mind filling me in on it?
Apartment house over on Alvarado. Landlady reported a theft of part of a mailbox out there.
Yeah, somebody stole a master panel off the front of the community mailbox at the apartment house. Figure it must have happened sometime during the night.
Oh, yeah, I believe we got something on that, too. A postman on the route reported it.
That's how he's getting into the mailboxes. Steals the front panel, makes a key for himself, and then on, he's in business. Smart guy like we're after could put a key like that to good use. It'd fit a great many different mailboxes around town.
Yeah, it's the same M.O. We've been on this guy for a long time. He pulled the same thing down in San Diego, was knocking down about $2,000 a month. Then he laid out. Now he's at it again up here in L.A.
Mm-hmm. Well, as you know, we've been getting reports of the thefts and the passing of the checks about 10 days ago.
Yeah, I know.
We've got 5 checks passed by this same thief according to handwriting analysis. We know it's the same guy.
Talked to the victims and the bank tellers. Description of the guy seems to tally with what you people have on him.
Yeah.
There's just one thing we haven't been able to piece out yet.
What's that, Joe?
When he steals a check, how does he know what bank to pass it on?
Well, I think we got the answer to that one.
Well, let's say that he steals a letter, and we know he doesn't only hit the community mailboxes. Sometimes he goes to a private residence, fishes the letters right out of the mail slots in that case.
Yeah, he's got some kind of a gimmick he gets down in those slots with.
Yeah, that's what we figure, Leo. But we'll say after he's got a letter with a check in it. Now, it's easy enough for a good forger to put an endorsement on it, but how does he know what branch of the bank to pass it on?
Well, at some time or other, he's stealing bank statements as well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's just lucky. At the time he steals a check, there's other mail in the box, too. The victim's bank statements.
Well, as far as that goes, I suppose he's stolen more than once from the same party. He could probably get away with bank statements easy.
Well, that's it. People never seem to report anything missing in the mails until weeks after it's happened.
It's easy to see why. They're not sure anything's wrong until they wait several days. They don't want to bother us in the case of anything routine like monthly bank statements.
And in the case of a check, well, sometimes it's from a relative or someone who owes them money and they don't want to embarrass them by writing or calling to find out about it.
And I suppose in the case of anything like a dividend check, we got a couple of those, Leo.
Mm-hmm.
The people who lose them just don't think it's time for them to arrive yet, so they just wait, huh?
That's it. And that's why he's been so successful. Plus the fact that it takes about a week for any kind of check to be processed through central clearing at any bank, and then, too, the bank wouldn't necessarily know that anything was wrong at that time.
Until the bank receives a complaint from the party who missed the check, they couldn't have any way of knowing that anything was wrong.
That's right.
Tell them what you were telling me this morning, Leo.
Well, you people aren't in it deep enough to know this yet, but this guy's been hitting the same branch bank maybe 2-3 times in a row.
Not here in L.A., had he?
No, not yet. It looks to us like he's just started up his operations here in town. That's the way he worked it down in San Diego.
Well, it's easy enough to figure. If he got a teller in some bank to go along with him, someone who didn't suspect him, and since the victims reported so late, he could get away with it at least that many times at the same bank, couldn't he?
Yeah. If people report missing mail immediately, it'd make it a lot tougher for the thief.
That last name on him still good, Harvey Fletcher?
That's what we're going on, yeah.
We've got bulletins out to all the banks carrying that description on him, and he changed earlier.
WMA, average build, 150, 160 pounds, gray eyes, about 32 to 35, well-dressed, carries a briefcase. Likeable personality.
That's what we got on him.
Oh, there's a little something we picked up yesterday from a bank teller. She told us the man had long sideburns, for what it's worth. You might add that.
Okay.
Don Myers in handwriting has checked through his files, Leo. They haven't got anything on him. And the stats office hasn't been able to make him on his M.O.
Now, we know you people are doing everything you can for us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I wish we could do more.
That name, Harvey Fletcher, of the 5 checks that we've got on the guy, according to handwriting analysis on him, he's only used that name once. Rest of the time, he signs the same last name as the payee's name on the face of the check.
He passes himself off as a brother, husband, or some relation to the rightful payee.
Yeah, that's what's taking in all those bank tellers, plus a smooth personality. He's cool, collected, all the confidence in the world.
Yeah, that figures.
Yeah, we got one day before yesterday with a little different twist. Isn't going to help us any, but here's the way he's working it in some cases. He deposits a large check to the victim's account, then he only takes out a small portion in cash. Throws the tellers off even more.
Here's those photo stats, Leo.
What's this?
Copies of the last 5 checks that we got on the guy.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Harry.
Myers says they're all in the same handwriting. Is there anything else we can do for you, Leo? We've got all the banks in the area covered, got bulletins out on them.
Well, that's fine.
Don't think we've overlooked anything. Patrol units have been alerted.
With this latest theft of that mailbox panel, it's too bad we can't localize his operations a little.
Leo, didn't you say that if he makes a key, that key would fit any number of boxes in the city? We couldn't pin him down to one neighborhood, could we?
That's right. That key will work on different mail routes. He probably knows the neighborhood around Alvarado is hot now. He'll leave it alone anyway.
It's impossible to stake him out on the actual thefts of the mail. It's too bad we can't get to him through one of the banks when he cashes them.
Well, your manpower and ours put together couldn't cover all the banks in L.A. at one time, but we've been spot checking throughout the city, hoping maybe to tab him just by luck.
We might get a break for one of our bulletins. Maybe some teller will spot him.
Well, I'm not sure yet. That's one of the reasons I came over here this morning, but maybe we've got a little something.
What's that?
Well, a bank out in Westwood phoned us yesterday. The teller thought she recognized the guy from his description. Didn't dawn on her till after the guy had left her window. She rushed out in time to get the license number of his car.
Well, maybe it's a break, huh?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. The check was drawn on the account of a William E. Scott. And that's the number 2 victim here in L.A.
Yeah, that's right. You've got the photostat of his checks right there.
Yeah, I know. Well, everything seems to fit. This check he passed yesterday out in Westwood was probably stolen at the same time as the first one, or at least it came from this Scott's mailbox. That we know.
Well, didn't this William Scott report the theft of 2 checks? I know he didn't to us. Maybe he did to you.
No, he didn't. Said he couldn't be sure. He gets quite a few checks through the mail. Owns a lot of stock, gets dividends.
Yeah, probably doesn't know when they come each month.
Yeah, that's right. He didn't miss the first one till it was way overdue. Might even be others missing. He doesn't know for sure yet.
Well, anyway, he's positive on this latest one out in Westwood that the bank teller caught, huh?
Sure. As soon as the bank manager called him, he knew he hadn't authorized anybody to cash any of his checks.
Does the M.O. seem to match?
Well, that's what's got us going on it. Looks real good. Smooth operator. Deposited part of the money, took the balance in cash. The major switch in his operation was the fact that he didn't go to the victim's regular bank as he did on that first check.
It sounds good, doesn't it?
And we kind of think so. That's the reason I came over here this morning. Conway, our handwriting man, thinks it's the same as the guy we're after. He asked me to check it through Don Myers to be sure.
What signature to use on this last one?
Now, that's another part of the M.O. that checks out. You remember on the first check, he forged the victim's name, William Scott?
Mm-hmm.
Then he made it a second-party check by signing the phony name, George Scott, passing himself off as a nephew of the victim.
Pretty smart. He goes to this victim's regular bank, and he doesn't take the chance of being tabbed as the payee. He covers by using that nephew gimmick.
Yeah. This time he goes to a different branch. Not the regular branch that the victim deals with as in the first case. He simply forges the victim's name and lets it go at that.
We doing anything on that license number?
Well, Ashton and Miller checked it out late yesterday afternoon. They're on it now.
Need any help?
Well, not so far. I'm interested in what Don Myers has to say about the handwriting. He ought to be through about now, huh?
I'll give him a call.
Well, thanks, Harry.
Hello, Don. Who's this? This is Elliot. You know if Don's checked that stuff through for Inspector Smith yet? Okay, thanks, Sloan. No, that's all right. We'll get to him. Don was called out of the office for a minute. That was Sloan. He says he's sure Don's finished with it.
Oh, fine. You say when he'll be back?
He just ducked down to Thad Brown's office for a minute. I'll call down there for you.
Well, that's all right. I'll walk down there myself. I need the exercise.
Okay.
You and I'll walk on down with you.
Oh, swell. Let's go.
All right. You fellas will be back here once.
Oh, sure, as soon as I check with Myers.
All right.
Which way is it from here? This hall looks the same from one end to the other to me.
It's this way, Leo.
Oh, okay.
This affects you like the federal building does me. I get all turned around up there.
Yeah. Well, those fellas down in San Diego have had a rough go on this thing.
Yeah, I was talking to McGuire and Ormsby down there just the other day. They said they were going around in circles on it.
They broke a lot of ground for us. Checked out a lot of suspects, cleared them. Checked out all that stuff that Brereton from CII sent down.
Yeah.
You know how thorough that guy is.
It figures they've done a lot of legwork.
Friday, you say you just talked to him down there?
Yeah, that's right, Leo.
Well, then you know about all those bulletins they got on the guy. Description, exemplars of his handwriting.
Mm-hmm.
Sent them to every police department in the United States.
It's a big job.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go get Don. It's right in here.
Thanks, Joe.
Right. Don?
Yeah, Joe.
Leo Smith from the post office department's waiting to see you.
Right, Joe. Just on my way back to the office.
Fine.
Hello, Don.
Sorry, Leo. I had to duck out for a minute.
Oh, that's all right. Say, did you get a chance to look that sky check over?
Yeah, I did. Got a couple of things to show you back in the office.
Okay, fine.
Was Conway positive on this one?
Well, he said he felt we had the right man, but he wanted your opinion to be absolutely sure.
I couldn't be positive, but I think maybe he's your man. There's a great similarity, but too much pressure on the downstrokes. The ye's, the yo's. Just not too sure. They're a little different than some of the previous samples of the guy's handwriting.
Uh-huh.
I can show you better back at the office. Got a few things for you.
Think there's a possibility, Don?
Well, let me put it this way. I won't say it is, and I won't say it isn't. Let's pick them up and find out for sure. Here we are. Go ahead, fellas.
Thank you.
I've blown those things up here.
Uh-huh.
Call for you, Leo. I'm 3.
Oh, thanks, Harry. Excuse me. The Smith talking. You did? Uh-huh. We did. All right, look, why don't you bring him down to forgery detail here at the City Hall? We'll talk to him here. Right, Ed. Right, thanks. Well, looks like the end of the trail. That was Ashton. He and Miller picked him up. He's our man, admitted the forgery.
Looks like San Diego did all the work and we get all the luck.
Anyway, we got him.
You are in the Scientific Investigation Division of a Metropolitan Police Department, the ballistics room.
You have just heard a test bullet fired from a .38 caliber revolver found in the possession of a suspect.
The test slug is removed from the ballistics box and compared with the slug found at the scene of the crime.
There they are. Side by side, they look alike. But examination will prove a world of difference.
Now, examine a Fatima. Compare it with any other king-size cigarette. Side by side, they'll look alike. But right away, you'll find there's a world of difference. Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest domestic and Turkish tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
In the routine solution of a case, the police officer is always benefited by the legwork of his fellow officers. In this case, the men of the San Diego Police Department, in conjunction with the Post Office Department, had done most of the spade work, and the actual apprehension of the suspect appeared to be almost too easy on our end. Even though Ben and I hadn't participated in the physical arrest of the suspect, We felt the same gratification for the speedy solution of the case as did the postal authorities. Monday, March 3rd, 3:27 p.m. Miller and Ashton of the Post Office Department brought the suspect in for questioning. The prisoner was turned over to Inspector Leo Smith. Ben and I sat in on the interrogation.
Carver Gleason, that's your true name?
Yes, sir, it is.
You say you've never been arrested before?
No, sir, I never have.
Now, you know we're going to check that out.
Yes, sir.
All right, now let's go over it again.
The same way?
That's up to you. We want the truth.
I've told you the truth. You asked me questions about stealing mail, about forging checks. You said I was down in San Diego. Well, that's not true. None of it's true.
Have you ever stolen from the mails?
No, sir, I never have. I know that's a pretty serious offense.
What makes you think forging isn't? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm not. I didn't say that, but this was the first time I've ever done anything like this. I didn't even think about the consequences.
Should have thought about them. And when's the last time you were in San Diego?
I've never been there. I don't even know for sure where it is.
How long you been in Los Angeles?
About 3 months now.
Where's your home?
Akron, Ohio.
How old did you say you were?
25.
And what have you been doing since you got out here?
Well, it's just it. Nothing. Can't find a job.
Well, how you been getting by? How you been living?
Been staying down at the YMCA. Hope Street, I guess it is.
What have you been doing for money?
Well, my folks gave me a little when I left Akron. Thought I'd have a job by now. I didn't want to write home for any more, so when I found that check, I figured I could get away with it. I needed money, and I cashed it.
And where'd you say you found it?
Over on, that street out that way, La Cienega. Is that how you said?
La Cienega, yeah. Now, what were you doing out there?
Well, I was answering an ad in the classifieds, trying to find a job. I had to park the car down the street from the place, and on my way back, I found this check on the sidewalk right near the bank on the corner.
Where'd you get the car?
It's my father's.
The car's registered in your name with California plates. How do you explain that?
Well, the folks told me when I got to California to go right to the authorities and register the car if I was going to stay so I wouldn't get in any trouble. That's where part of my money went.
You got anything else you want to tell us?
Well, I did it. I admit that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make it up somehow. The check was for $57. I gave the men that arrested me 50 of it, and I spent $7.
Yeah, that's all on the record.
I did wrong. I'll pay the $7 back.
Well, you can take that up with the judge, Gleason. Friday, Romero, you want to step outside with me a minute?
Yeah, right.
Gleason, you wait here with that officer.
Yes, sir.
And what do you think?
He's telling the truth. He's not the one we want.
How about you, Joe?
Yeah, I'll go along with Ben.
Well, that makes 3 of us.
Monday, March 3rd, 5 p.m. We went in and checked with Don Myers. In carefully going over exemplars of Carver Gleason's handwriting, he had definitely eliminated him as our suspect. Carver Gleason remained in custody awaiting trial. 3 months went by. During this time, the burglaries and forgeries continued. Suspects were picked up, checked out, and released. We got nowhere. Tuesday, July 12th. We received a communication from Chief Adam Jensen of the San Diego Police Department, who stated he was forwarding a radiogram from Chief John W. Polsine of the Milwaukee, Wisconsin Police Department. The radiogram from Chief Polsine stated that his handwriting man in Milwaukee had identified the suspect's handwriting, as listed in one of the San Diego bulletins, as belonging to Philip E. Holloway. Holloway was arrested 2 years previous on a reckless driving charge. The physical description of the man matched closely with the one that we'd received on the suspect known to us as Harvey Fletcher. They further stated that although he was at one time a resident of Milwaukee, they had nothing further on him. It was just an outside chance, but we decided that in all probability this could be the suspect's true name, Philip E. Holloway. This information was forwarded to the postal authorities. Ben and I started to check through our channels to determine the whereabouts of the suspect, Philip E. Holloway, with a possible alias of Harvey Fletcher.
Yeah, that's it, Joe. Nothing in any of the phone books.
Yeah.
Covered everything I can think of. Our records, sheriff's records, nothing from CII, utility companies.
Yeah, well, maybe Smith found something on him. We haven't got anything here.
Think I'll give him a call, huh, Joe?
Yeah, I'd like to know. That's extension 664.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, 664. Hello, Inspector Smith, please. How's that? Oh, I see. No, that's all right, thank you. He's on his way over here. He left 5 minutes ago.
I sure hope he's got something.
Joe, Ben?
Hi, Leo.
Think maybe we ran it down.
Good. How'd you do it? Through the Postal Service?
Yep. Didn't figure, did it?
Well, we didn't think he'd stay put long enough to have a permanent address.
Well, he's been on the move, but we got the last known address on him. Received mail there 2 days ago.
You want to check with Don Myers? He's been working over those exemplars Milwaukee sent us.
I just did. Called him about 15 minutes ago.
Oh, we just got back from R&I.
What do you have to say this time?
Well, he and Conway agree all the way this trip.
Yeah?
Holloway's our man.
Together with the postal authorities, Ben and I helped in the 24-hour surveillance placed on the suspect, Philip E. Holloway. Our findings disclosed that he was living in a modest apartment house and he was employed by a local vacuum cleaner company as a door-to-door salesman. This type of occupation would enable anyone to have suspicion-free access to any and all types of home mailboxes. The first 3 days of the surveillance failed to disclose any further incriminating evidence. Thursday, July 17th, fifth day of the 24-hour surveillance, 2:30 p.m. Holloway came out of his apartment building, got into his car, and drove approximately 4 miles to the Echo Park residential district. He parked his car, got out, and went up the steps of a small apartment house. Together with Inspector Leo Smith, Ben and I followed him.
You want to pull up here, Ben? This is good.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, he's going for that mailbox, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's got the key. He's opening the panel.
Not a worry in the world. Broad daylight. Look at that.
Yeah. He's got all the letters out of the box, got them in his pocket. On his way back to his car.
Leo, there's a bank right up there on Sunset, see?
Okay, let's stay with him.
How's it look, Joe? You can see up ahead there. Is he pulling out?
Wait a minute. All right, let's go. Better pull up here, huh?
Now look at that. Just like it was blueprinted. Going right in the bank.
Come on.
Yeah. Joe, you see him?
There he is. Second window.
Let's get in line right behind him.
All right.
Yes, sir. May I help you?
Yes, I wonder if you can cash a check for me?
Yes, sir. Would you endorse it, please?
Surely. There you are. As you can see, this is one of my mother's checks. I guess I can cash it all right for her.
Do you have any identification?
I'm sorry, I don't. I'll say I have this envelope the check was mailed in. Will that do?
Yes, I think that's all right. How would you like this, sir?
He doesn't want it anyway, miss. Just hold that check for us, please. Postal inspector.
Yes, sir.
I beg your pardon. I believe you're making a mistake here.
No, there's no mistake. Come on, step over here. Shake him down.
I don't understand all this.
That key you used over there on Baxter Street, that the one you made from that panel you stole over on Alvarado about 4 months ago?
You know about that, huh?
Yeah, we do.
I did all right for a while, didn't I? That key angle's a pretty good one, isn't it? There isn't a lock in the world I can't make a key for.
We got one in mind you might have trouble with.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On October 15th, trial was held in United States District Court, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
And now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. Friends, all of us on Dragnet are convinced that Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes. We think you'll like them as much as we do. But the only way you can tell is to buy a pack of Fatimas and compare them with any other king-size cigarette. Now, side by side, they'll look alike, but in Fatima, the difference is quality. Quality that gives you extra mildness, a much better flavor and aroma. Compare Fatima. You'll agree, Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes.
The suspect, Philip Elwood Holloway, was found guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to 10 years in the federal penitentiary. 5 years of his sentence was suspended and he was placed on probation, one of the conditions being that he make restitution of the stolen money.
Ladies and gentlemen, accidents of all types kill more persons from 1 to 35 years of age than does any single disease. America's homes and children can best be kept safe if every father, mother, and child develops the personal responsibility to know and observe home safety rules. Make home safety a family affair. Be careful. The life you save may be your own.
You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
Stay tuned for Counter Spy, next over most NBC stations.
There you go. 73 years ago, May 24th, 1951, Dragnet here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Long before there was cops, there was the Night Watch. And we'll hear that coming up next.
Have you ever wondered what people abroad think of us? Many of them don't have a very high opinion of our country or our way of life. It's not because of anything we've done or haven't done. It's what they think we have or haven't done. Unfortunately, those thoughts were planted in their minds by books and other literature distributed in both free and Iron Curtain countries by the communists. This material has been deliberately slanted to create false impressions of America and Americans. But the people who read them are hungry for the truth. Somewhere on your bookshelves or in your attic, you must have books you're through with. By contributing them to Books from America, you can help send the truth about America to readers and students abroad. Particularly helpful are good standard American novels, up-to-date histories and geographies, as well as English grammars. If they're in good condition, with hard covers, pack them up and send them to Books from America, Box 1960, Washington 13, D.C. That address again is Books from America, Box 1960, Washington 13, D.C.
Night Watch was a breakthrough in technology. Don Reed, who was a local reporter, went along with the mean streets of Culver City, California, the Culver City Police, and took along a brand new portable tape recorder. It was very compact for the time, only about the size of a suitcase. But he took it along with him, and he recorded these on-the-spot, authentic reports. And they were called Night Watch. This goes back 70 years, May 24th, 1954.
Got all your gear done?
Yeah, thanks very much.
Well, good hunting, fellas.
See ya.
5-6-1 in service. Starting mileage 11,831. 11,831.
1 to 5-6, 10-4, mileage 11,831, 6:08 p.m. Detective Unit 5-6 in service on the Night Watch.
This is Don Reed, police recorder. You're riding in a detective unit. Black sedan, radio buried in the glove compartment. Looks like any other car on the road. No identification as a police car. We're all dressed in civilian clothes. Driving, Sergeant Ron Perkins. Partner, Sergeant Kurt Walter. This is Detective Unit 5-6. While you're with us tonight, remember, you're listening just as it happens. And the people you meet are not actors. You see, this is it. This is real. This is Night Watch.
Night Watch, the actual on-the-scene report of your police force in action. There are no actors, there is no script. Every voice, every sound is authentic. The investigations are recorded as they actually occur. Night Watch, presented with the cooperation of the Police Department of Culver City, California, W.N. Hildebrand, Chief. And now we switch you to Detective Unit 5-6, now on patrol somewhere in the field, and to the official police recorder, Don Reed.
5-6-1, come in.
1 to 5-6, go ahead.
5-6 on this abandoned child call. We're at Jefferson and Denton now. So far, we've been unable to locate the complainant or the vehicle. Do you have any further information?
1 to 5-6, yes. We've just had a second call. See the man at Welton and Jefferson. That's a block north of you, northeast corner. This is L.A. territory. Follow up and advise if you want an L.A. unit.
Roger.
It's just about 10:30, and the first part of the evening we were staked out on a market. Seems we had some reliable information that the market was going to be stuck up. But our information wasn't so reliable. Nothing happened. Right at the moment, we're on a call to meet the man about an abandoned child. We've had a bit of trouble locating the car. However, it should be up here right on this next corner. Now, this is LA territory in here, and if there's anything to it, of course, we'll call the LA division. Now, there's a man standing over here on the corner. And obviously, he's the one that's waiting for us. He's all bundled up in a big overcoat. Very cold out tonight. Icy wind blowing off the mountains. Man pointing in a dark sedan. Looks like there's a little boy in it.
Howdy. You the gentleman that called the police? I sure did. Where's the mother?
Getting loaded.
Hi, how are you, son? Who's this little one here? Is that your little sister?
Yeah.
How old are you?
4 years old.
How old?
4 years old.
4 years old. How old's your little baby here? Baby sister?
Oh, I don't know.
Not very old, is she?
Look, it's all thin. You all go in and have a bear.
Are you with this woman at all?
No.
What's the woman look like in
I
here?
just came in.
Yeah. Is she by herself or what?
I don't know.
Is she inside? You know the woman inside at all?
No.
How do you know she's in there?
I mean, this little boy's here all by himself. He was crying when we first came in.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We'll take it. Appreciate it.
Sorry.
All right. You know who we are?
Yeah.
We're police officers. You know that?
Yeah.
How old's your little sister here?
Fine.
How old is she?
I don't know.
Not very old. About 3, 4 months old?
Well, I don't know if she's that old.
Are you cold in here?
No, I have a blanket here right for me.
How about putting the blanket over the little baby sister here a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
Keep her a little bit warmer. Where's your mommy?
She's in there.
Where's your daddy?
He's at home.
He's at home. Your mommy here all by herself?
She's in there. She's drinking.
She's drinking?
Yeah.
Does she do this very often?
Well, sometimes.
How long have you been out here in the car?
Well, I've been out here, 2 hours, no, 3 hours.
3 hours?
Yeah.
Has your mommy come out at all during that time?
Yeah, when she's ready to go home.
I see. Okay. Whereabouts do you live? Do you live around here?
Well, we live at San Diego, and we...
San Diego?
Yeah, we are in another house now.
I see. Your daddy's home?
Yeah.
Your mommy's in the place in here drinking?
Yeah.
Okay, son.
Bye. Bye.
Goodbye. We'll see you in a little bit, okay?
Back to Unit 5-6.
5-6 to 1.
Go ahead, 5-6.
5-6, will you have a L.A. juvenile unit meet us at this location?
Roger.
How you doing?
They're doing okay. We're waiting for the juvenile officers to arrive.
Yeah, she's in there about half loaded.
Where's she's sitting at the bar? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll go in there. Oliver, you want to keep your eye on the children? We'll go in the bar a minute.
Into the bar. There's 6 or 8 patrons sitting on stools. Young couple sitting off to one side. It's the only woman in the place. Must be the mother. Woman, young, unsteady. Perkins escorting her outside.
How come you leave them in this cold car like
Friend,
that?
possibly the husband, following out
How long have you been there?
Well, she came down to pick me up.
How long you been in there?
About 5 minutes, I guess.
You've been there longer than 5 minutes. Yeah, a lot longer than 5 minutes.
No, I went in with him. We were talking.
You, the husband?
Yeah.
You're the father of the children?
Yeah. Yeah, that's my car next door.
You're the father of the children, are you? You have any identification on you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Can I see it, please? This is your husband, then?
Yes. Mrs. Cross?
Do you have any identification on you?
No.
An operator's license?
No.
How do you drive the car without an operator's license?
Yes, I have operator's
Where is it?
So we just got married down in Mexico.
How long ago?
About 6 weeks ago we got married, wasn't it, honey? About 6 weeks ago?
Yeah. I'm still under my other husband's name.
Well, this one little child in here, the baby, was in there lying with no blanket over it. She's cold.
I just came out a little while ago and covered her up and gave her the bottle.
Well, we got a complaint over 20 minutes ago, so we know you've been here at least 20 minutes.
We're going right home. She came down to get me. We're both going home.
Now, maybe you are and maybe you're not.
We are.
As far as I'm concerned, it's contributing to delinquency of a juvenile.
Oh, heavens, no.
Endangering a child's life, leaving a child in the car like that.
Oh, no.
Two children.
No, I was just sitting in there waiting for her, officer. I was just sitting here, waiting.
Well, you're not going to drive any place, I'll tell you that much right now. You're too drunk to drive. You're not going to drive your car away from here.
I can get somebody to drive.
Well, you'll have to stand by here until LA arrives. You'll have to stand by till Los Angeles Police Department arrives. You're in Los Angeles here. We're just standing by till they get here. Them handle it.
I don't want to get in any trouble, officer.
You're not in any trouble so far. What's the fact that children have been left out here? Why don't you go over and look at your children and see if they're all right, and I'll cover the baby up, huh?
Well, they're going over to check out the children.
Is she all right?
She's wet.
Is your mommy there?
Yeah.
Is your daddy over here?
No.
Huh?
No. No, that isn't his daddy.
Oh, I see. How old is the baby?
4 months.
4 months old. How old's the big boy here?
4.
4 years.
LA juvenile officers arriving.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Perkins. Gilbert, name. That's the place where it's... I don't know what you want to do with it here, but we got a call down here about 30 minutes ago. These 2 little kids left in a car. We've been down here up until about 5 minutes ago. We went in the bar and got the woman out. She never come out to look at the kids. The little kid said they'd been here a couple of hours. Some stranger said a fellow that called in and said it'd been here quite a while. The little baby just lying there, nothing on her. Speak of, no blankets over her. Little boy, well, she's been drinking. This is the husband by 6 weeks. He's half looped. So you can do what you want with it.
Let's go over with the juvenile officers and talk with the husband and wife again.
That doesn't matter. Rick,
These your kids?
No.
Who's the little baby, the 3-month-old baby? Who's that belong to?
You married or not? Yeah, I'm trying to...
Ask if you was married.
You want to take me to Culver City Police Station?
I'm not interested in Culver City Police Station. Ask if you was married. Huh?
Possibly.
I don't think you're married to him, are you?
No. No.
You gotta take care of your 2 kids, lady.
Where's your husband?
In San Diego.
You a serviceman?
No.
Sergeant, can I see you a minute?
Sure.
Tell you what I think we better do here. We'll send the lady and her children home in a taxi, but this guy's too drunk. I think we'll take him in and book him.
It's okay with us.
My sense again, we're going to get a petition to take these children away from you. Understand that? Just told her that.
You mind what I told you now? If ever brought to attention again, you're going to...
If I ever do this again, I deserve it.
All right, you go on home.
Really, I deserve it now.
You wanna chase
But I
around?
want the children.
You want to chase around, you get somebody to take care of them kids.
We're going to shove off. See you later, fellas.
The LA officers will stand by until the taxi arrives. Amanda's being taken into custody. That sort of winds up our business here.
Sure cute little fellow in that car, wasn't he?
Yeah. It's pretty hard to figure some people.
Control 1 to car 40, clear, code 7, KMA 394.
5-6 clear.
1 to 5-6 clear. All units in the vicinity in car 5-1 on Washington Place, 1 block west of Evans. Man in the street threatening suicide. Code 2.
5-6 to 1. We're in the area and rolling.
1 to 5-6, 10-4.
You are listening to Night Watch and following the activities of Detective Unit 5-6 on its tour of duty. Remember, the people and sounds you are hearing are real, and the investigations are recorded in the field as they actually occur. We'll bring you the final results of tonight's action at the conclusion of Night Watch. And now we switch you back to Detective Unit 5-6, somewhere in the field, and to the official police recorder, Don Reed.
Just a few more blocks to the scene. It's a man threatening to take his life in the street. Just a little bit of mist falling. The streets are just a bit slick. We have to sort of watch our traction. Rolling a lot in second gear. Sergeant Walter, using the hand spotlight with a red lens over it, that moves the traffic over. Now, here comes one of our radio cars swinging in from a side street. There are red lights glaring. Now they're swinging around, taking off in front of us. Should be up here in the next block, I believe. Yeah, there they are. The radio car's pulling up. We're sliding in behind. Man on the street pointing.
That's the man down there?
Yeah. What's the trouble with him?
Oh, his wife pulled a wingding on him, and he's...
We'll have to go get him. So we'll talk to you later. There's a young fellow right out in the middle of the traffic. 2 of the officers are chasing him. Moss and Cameron. Walter and Perkins out there with flashlights trying to stop the cars before someone really gets hurt. Oh, they almost had him, but he darted away. There's a little bit of a break. It's late at night, and there's not too much traffic. Boy. Wow. I picked a great time to forget my flashlight. Now, the suspect is cut out on the street and taking off across a vacant lot. Cutting back this way, one officer grabs him. We're hurrying over. 2 officers. 2 officers struggling with him. 3rd officer's in there now.
Everything's all right. Don't go and try to use it. Just relax. Nobody's doing anything.
Well, you were trying to...
Just settle down.
Settle down now.
Close to me.
Let your hands up. What do you want to talk about?
We want to talk to you right here. Right here. Right here. Stand here and talk.
Sure, but I can't stand still.
Just stand here and talk.
I can't stand still. Let me move around, will you?
What's the matter?
Oh, I don't know.
Huh?
I'm broke up.
You broke up? What? About what?
Let me talk to the psychiatrist.
Maybe he can do something. Do you think you need a psychiatrist?
Somebody needs a psychiatrist.
What seems to be the trouble? Your wife and you've been fighting?
Oh, they called last night. Said I took a swing at her, but...
Did you take a swing at her?
She didn't get any marks on her.
I don't know. I'm just asking. Have you been drinking?
Sitting on the phone. He's had some sedation.
Taking
dope right now.
Taking, narcotics? How do you feel? You feel all right now?
Sure, but wobbly.
Yeah, well, that's understandable. Did the doctor give you some pills to make you relax or something? Is that
Yeah.
Capsules, they were?
Are you a neighbor?
Yeah.
Could we have a word with you?
Yeah.
Neighbor, young fellow we talked to earlier. Sergeant Walter taking him aside. Perkins, uniformed officers walking the suspect around, trying to calm him down.
Well, he found out Monday this gal's wife called him and told him that her husband and his wife had been running around for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a real emotional guy. He's very unstable. Not to get violent or anything, but I mean, he'd break down and cry, you know. He lets it come out.
Mm-hmm.
So then it all came to a head yesterday, and he took off, and then he didn't know where she was, and he called, and he couldn't get hold of her, and he called me. And his wife called my wife this morning. Said she was up in Hollywood or someplace, which she probably wasn't. And she said she was going to stay another night. She was going to stay away another night tonight. So then she called him a while ago. Told him the same thing. Now he wants to go look for him. I got the rotor out of his car, and his sister's got the keys, and he can't take the car, but he's going to shove off. So his sis wants him, if it's at all possible, to take him in someplace and hold him tonight.
Well, it would be possible to take him in and book him as a psycho, but if we do, we'll have to take him to the county hospital. He'll be there for 72 hours, pending an examination to determine if he is mentally unstable. And if he is, he'll be committed. If he is not, he'll be released.
Is there some way to take him out to Sawtell?
Is he
He's a veteran.
Well, do you consider him from being a neighbor? Do you consider him...
I consider him very rational.
Very rational?
Yeah.
How do you account for this outburst now? When the officers asked him to halt, he kept on running.
Well, he's got it in his mind. He's going to go find his wife and this guy.
And probably kill him.
If he could get hold of a gun, he probably would.
That's what I mean.
He probably would. But how many guys in this... if you were in his shoes...
That's right.
I mean, to me, it's silly. I mean, I'd just let her go. But he's nuts about the gal. He'd take her back right now if she walked up to him. And he's just all mixed up, that's all.
What, do you believe his wife is running around?
She admitted it.
Oh, she did.
And it's just a fouled up mess, that's all. But I don't think he's a psycho. But it's no good leaving him here this way.
No, we're not going to leave him.
Anything is better than...
We can't.
She won't condone it, and I would say, as a friend of his, it's no good for him.
Well, he said a while ago he needed a psychiatrist. I wonder if he would consent to going to Sawtell if we made arrangements.
I think he would.
We don't want to use any more force than is necessary, but we might have to use it.
Well, I think if I could talk to him and go along halfway, I mean, I don't think he'll get violent, because he...
All right, let's the two of us then talk to him, and you explain to him that if he doesn't go along with the idea of going to Sawtell, we'll be forced to take him to the county hospital and book him in as a psycho.
Let's move back to the suspect.
Kind of running.
If you'll just stop and think, it's the best thing for you.
Is it? I might have found out.
Well, no, you won't now.
No, I won't. I'll never know that.
Let's walk back now.
Heading back to his house on the corner. Officer under each arm.
We really don't think there's anything wrong with you. It's just we know you're a little mixed up.
On Monday night, I went out gunning for.
See, you might get that feeling again, and we don't want to take that chance. I mean, for your good as well as the other fellow.
Well, I ain't got my gun.
Well, but you might just accidentally bump onto it again, and we wouldn't want that to happen.
Why?
Well, it would put you in a bad spot.
I don't care about myself.
I know you don't, but we do. It's our job to worry about you and about the other people, too.
It would ease my conscience is showing that I found out.
Well, but
caught him.
We don't want it to. We don't want to make the situation worse. It's bad enough as it is.
I know.
See, so far you did no wrong. It's everybody else. Your conscience is still clear. But if you went out and did something that you'd be sorry for,
I wouldn't be sorry anything I did.
Do you have any children, sir?
Best 10-year-old boy. That's all he's saying to you. I just didn't go to a drunk tank or something like that.
We can't book you drunk, sir, if you're not drunk. You're not drunk.
Well, we'll see.
You're just a little mixed up and you need a little rest. We don't say there's anything wrong with you. You're not drunk and you're not psycho. You wait right there for a minute, will you, please?
I'm going to go and get my pill.
Well, I'd rather if you didn't take another pill right now, because if we go down there, they'd want to give you any medicine that you require there.
Kurt, see you a minute. The Veterans Hospital won't take anybody on a direct admission unless it's an emergency. You better take him to our police doctor. You want to tell his friend?
Keeper. The Veterans Hospital won't take him on a direct admission unless he's an outpatient clinic and a real serious emergency. And so he suggests that we take him down to our police doctor and have him examined. And if he decides that he should be committed, then we'll commit him to the county hospital. We can't do anything else. It would be a crime if we didn't take him into custody.
Well, yeah, and I think it would be best for him.
I think so, too. We'll ask him to go along to the doctor now to be examined, and chances are the doctor can put it to him in such a way down there that he won't mind going down to the hospital. At least we hope he won't.
Well, I hope he don't kick up a fuss now because he's getting his heels up about going.
Well, we'll have to handcuff him if it's necessary. I hope we don't. Okay.
Do you want to secure his house for him?
You want to bring your car down, Archie?
Stay here with Sister so we can get
Well, Perkins has taken the young fellow into his house to pick up some of his personal things. Let's go on in. Subject standing next to the stove in the kitchen,
I'd like for you to go along with the officers down to our police doctor.
trying to coax him out without using the cuffs.
Whatever the police doctor says, we'll do.
Okay.
But
I don't want to go for taking the son because I'll work up.
Well, chances are you will go down to the county hospital if you have to go anywhere. Okay? You come along with this officer here now. He'll take you down to the doctor.
Thank you very much.
Escorting the subject out to the radio car. Officer in the back to keep an eye on him. Officer Johnny Moss motioning for us over here.
He wanted some more sleeping pills. I went in the bathroom and I put some bicarbonate of soda in his sleeping pills, and we gave him those, so he thinks he's sedated, and actually he's in pretty good shape.
Good deal. That's very good. You explain it to the doctor and follow his recommendation. The hospital has been notified.
Let's get back to our car again. It's kind of rough on a guy after 10 years.
Yeah, sure is.
What you have just heard is real, recorded as it actually happened on The Night Watch. We switch you now back to headquarters and the desk of Police Chief W.N. Hildebrand.
Tonight's first investigation involving the children left unattended in a car resulted in a strong warning to the mother and the booking for plain junk of the man in the case. Although, as you heard, technically this incident took place just inside of the Los Angeles territory, all of the officers agreed a warning to the mother would suffice this time, as any further action would work a greater hardship on the children. The final case of the man who became emotionally unstable resulted in his being committed for psychiatric examination. Actually, he was released 3 days later. Rest and a chance to talk out his problem was what he needed to get his mental condition under control. Recently, I received a letter from a minister in San Francisco, California. He had just heard the case of a woman under the influence of alcohol who kicked over the desk as she went berserk in the police station. Perhaps you may remember this case. It was the minister's opinion that everyone drinking to excess should have heard every word of that recording. It not only showed the dangerous road they are treading, but the real behind-the-scene problems facing your police officers. The minister concluded by saying, our work has much in common when it comes to maintaining public security. I hope in listening tonight, you have come to understand just a little better the other fellow's point of view. If you have, then we have a meaning for Night Watch.
Thank you, Chief Hildebrand. You have been following Detective Unit 5-6 on its tour of duty on The Night Watch. Every voice, every sound has been real. Night Watch is brought to you through the cooperation of the Police Department of Culver City, California, with technical advice by Sergeant Ron Perkins, and is described in the field by the official police recorder, Don Reed.
70 years ago, May 24th, 1954, Night Watch. Advancing technology helped, the small cameras, the portable stuff. That's what made cops happen. And, of course, that's why this happened. Recording technology made it be able to do it on the radio. Up next, radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense. Agnes Moorehead, the First Lady of Suspense, starring in an episode entitled Weekend Special, Death.
If you're of teenage or up, a loyal American, male or female, your country needs you in the Civilian Ground Observer Corps. You've heard the radio broadcasts, seen the television pictures. You know the facts. You know what a single H-bomb dropped in any metropolitan area could do. And today's long-range bombers have made intercontinental war possible. Enemy planes based on the other side of the world could reach the United States in a matter of hours. Radar can help detect them, but there are dangerous gaps through which low-flying planes can penetrate without detection. To fill out our detection system, civilian personnel is needed, particularly along the east and west coasts and in the northern states. Sky watching is not a game, it's a necessary precaution. The Ground Observer Corps is now operating on a 24-hour-a-day basis and needs at least 200,000 volunteers to contribute a few hours of their spare time to this vital work. Will you volunteer? Get in touch with your local Civilian Defense Center at once.
Tomorrow on Classic Radio Theater for our Saturday, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to have an episode of Suspense from 1943, the first airing of Sorry, Wrong Number. And then we're going to go to that same date in 1958, an episode of a show called Like Man, Somebody Dig Me, both episodes of Suspense. And then 2 episodes of Johnny Dollar, one from 1958 with Bob Bailey, and one from 1954 with John Lund. And we'll cap it all off with an episode of Claudia. That's coming up on our Saturday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. As promised, the First Lady of Suspense, Agnes Moorehead, an episode of radio's outstanding theater of thrill suspense entitled Weekend Special, Death.
Autolite and its 98,000 dealers bring you the First Lady of Suspense, Miss Agnes Moorehead, in tonight's presentation of Suspense.
Tonight, Autolite presents the terrifying story of a double murder and the woman who became involved in this criminal activity. Weekend Special, Death. Our star, Miss Agnes Moorehead.
Hey, Stan, what's baseball's brainiest manager doing out here?
It's my battery, Harlow. It struck out due to no water.
Well, you should have an Autolite Stay Full battery, Stan. That's the perfect power pitcher that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use.
Sounds like a real major leaguer, Harlow.
Yeah, it sure is. The Autolite Stay Full bats 1,000, season after season, thanks to fiberglass retaining mats around every positive plate. They reduce shedding and flaking to give the Autolite Stay Full longer life, as proved by tests conducted according to accepted life cycle standards.
Drop me off at the nearest Autolite battery dealer, will you, Harlow?
Sure, Stan. He'll fix you up with an Autolite Stay Full, the battery that says right on the case, needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. Remember, Stan, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, Autolite presents transcribed Miss Agnes Moorehead in Weekend Special, Death, hoping once again to keep you in suspense.
Who is Franz?
I am.
I'm Lee Stanley.
Oh.
What is all this?
Maybe you can help us, Mr. Stanley. The woman says she works for you.
Rita, she certainly does work for me. She's worked for me for 2 years or more. Why are you holding her?
What does she do for you?
My secretary. Look, if I can't get any answers from you, I'd just as soon call Captain Hilliard at home.
I understand you're an attorney, Mr. Stanley.
I am. Right now, you might consider that she's my client, and I want to see her. I'm warning you, Franz, I won't tolerate any irregularities. You're holding her, and I have a right to see her.
Come on. I'll be in 201 for a couple of minutes.
Okay, Lieutenant.
We got her down the hall here, Mr. Stanley.
Booked yet?
Not yet. When we picked her up and tried to get some information from her, she just gave us her name and address and asked us to call you. That's all we know, except, of course, the 2 guys she was with.
Here's the 2 men?
Yep.
Where are they? Are you holding them?
Sort of.
What do you mean?
They're dead. Yeah, Mr. Stanley, your secretary killed them. In there. Go ahead, Mr. Stanley. She's waiting for you.
Yeah.
Lee?
Lee, is that you?
Yeah.
Oh, Lee. This isn't a very nice way to spend a Sunday morning, is it?
No.
Hi.
All right. What is it? Tell me.
Lee, it was one of those silly things. Just one of the silliest things that could possibly happen.
2 men are dead, Rita.
I know, but Lee, I've heard you say it many times. You've even said it to me. If you're arrested and taken into custody, just give your name and address and ask for your lawyer. You say that to people all the time. You said it many times. I've heard you. I heard you.
I know. You did right.
Well, I asked for you. I wanted to tell you. I never thought I'd be... Lee, it was so silly. So very silly. Coffee was 92 cents a pound, and they had a special on steak, $1.15 for T-bones, and there were some bakery goods.
What?
The weekend specials. Well, yesterday afternoon, in the office, I was making out my list for the week.
Oh.
And I was getting my list ready. I was going to stop in the market on my way home. Potatoes, carrots, okra. Need some lettuce in there. Radishes. Celery. Elmwood 48321. Mr. Stanley is in the office right now. Is there any message? Yes, I'll tell him. Thank you for calling. Goodbye.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
My name is Tony LaFaro. Is Mr. Stanley in?
Oh, hello, Mr. LaFaro. I've heard Mr. Stanley speak of you. I'm Miss Dorsey, Mr. Stanley's secretary. I'm sorry he isn't in right now, but he's due back any minute.
Then I'd like to wait for him.
Yes, of course. Take a chair over there.
Sure. Thanks. Didn't know whether anybody'd be here or not. Saturday afternoon and all. I was going to call him at home if I didn't get him here.
Well, we're usually not here on Saturday afternoons. But Mr. Stanley had to be in court this morning, and then he had to attend a luncheon.
See.
It's a beautiful day, isn't it?
That's swell. Not for me.
Oh?
When you said you'd heard Mr. Stanley speak of me, you mean that you know about the trouble I'm in.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Stanley will be able to help you, Mr. LaFaro. Otherwise, he wouldn't be handling the case.
You just don't understand how people can be that way. I didn't take that car. It was mine. It belonged to us, me and my wife. I had a right to sell it, and how she can charge me with theft, I don't know. I can't understand any of these things.
Well, what's it? Hello, Tony.
Mr. Stanley.
What's up now?
My wife's back in this country. She's going to throw some more charges at me.
That's right. I received a letter this morning.
I'm out on bail now, waiting for my trial and that other thing. Will they put me back in?
You better come in my office.
I brought those receipts and bill of sale on the car that you asked me to find.
Good.
All right if I leave now, Mr. Stanley?
Go on in, Tony. I'll be in a minute. Make yourself comfortable.
Sure.
Rita, any plans this afternoon?
I want to get my shopping done. Why?
Well, I hate to ask this. It's such a swell afternoon and all, but he's in more trouble than he knows. There are 2 new warrants against him for grand theft. I want some information before they're executed, if possible. I'll need you.
Oh, Lee.
I'm sorry. These things happen now and then.
Well, I'll get my book.
I was going to play golf, if it helps you any.
Well, it doesn't. You know something?
What?
That mild, sweet little man, he's so polite and gentle. How could he get into all this trouble?
Because that mild, sweet little man is a liar and a thief, and they usually get into trouble.
Oh, you're always...
If he had a gun, he'd as soon blow your head off as look at you. Sorry I ever took him on as a client. Well, let's get started.
Anthony M. LaFaro was so quiet and soft, and when he looked at me with those big brown Latin eyes while I was taking notes, I knew how wrong everything had been for him. You as usual, were all lawyer. He'd talk and you'd tell him he was lying and make him tell it to you another way. It was all so involved. Something about him stealing a car from his divorced wife and her being in England. Oh, I don't know. I just took notes.
6. Well, That's enough for now. Where are you staying?
The motel.
You go back there right now and stay there. I'll call you Monday morning after I talk to Judge Presley. But I'm going to tell you one thing. This is going to cost you money.
Oh, don't worry. I can pay. Thank you for your time.
Sure. Good night.
Good night. And good night, Miss Darcy.
Good night.
Sorry I messed up your afternoon.
It's all right.
Oh. Where's my coat?
There.
Oh.
What about these?
Well, they have to be typed up.
By when?
I'll need them first thing Monday when I talk to the judge. When can you do them?
I better do them right now, Lee.
Oh, you're tired.
I'm busy tomorrow, and I don't want to take them home. I think I'll just stay here and get them out right now.
Oh, thanks. I better be getting along. You were swell.
Just a minute.
Hmm?
I have to go shopping before the store's closed tonight.
Oh. Here's your check.
Thanks. I'm flat broke.
See you Monday.
Night, boss.
Night. You were swell to stay with you.
Well, it took me until 8:30 to type up the notes. And after that, I drove straight to Jack's Market. It's about 2 blocks from my apartment. I wanted to cash my check, get the groceries, and go home. My idea was to have a little something to eat and get to bed early. Well, it didn't work out that way. Wait! Hey! Wait, please!
Huh?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You aren't closed, are you?
Afraid we are, miss. It's 9:05 now.
Oh, there's still some people in there. I can see them.
They got here before 9.
Well, what time is it now?
5 after.
Oh, I haven't got a thing in the house to eat.
I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to let any more customers in after 9. That's why they put me here.
Oh, dear. There's just nothing in the house at all for dinner.
I'm sorry. We're open from 10 to 6 tomorrow. Could you come back then?
Yes, of course, but what about now, tonight?
What do you want?
Well, I could get by with a little steak. Well, just something for now. I just got off work
Well,
and
he isn't looking now. You go ahead.
Oh, thank
But
you.
don't say anything to anybody. It'll be my neck. Just pretend you got here before 9.
I got you.
Go that way.
As long as I did get in, and I decided I'd do all of my shopping. It wouldn't hurt anybody if I was just a little late. You know how it is in a store. You wheel back and forth looking for what you want. At least I do. And that's what I did there. I was way in the back of the store, and I didn't notice it when they turned off the overhead fans. And I didn't notice that there wasn't anybody front at the cash registered. But I did notice it when all the lights suddenly went out. Hey! Hey! I'm still in here! Hey! Hey! Wait a minute! Wait a minute, you! Mister! Hey! Hey! Oh, well, I'll be darned. I'm locked in. This was at Jack's Market. You know how they are. Always built in from the street so that you can park on any side. Well, that's fine when you want to park, but when you're locked inside at night and you want to get somebody's attention so you can get out, it isn't so fine at all. As a matter of fact, it's terrible. After a few minutes, I went to the hardware counter and got a flashlight and waved it for a half an hour, and when nobody saw it or paid any attention to it, I got worried. I was more worried when I got in the phone booth and found out I didn't have anything but a check. And I couldn't open any of the cash registers or the door to the little office in the back. I want you to know things got a little worse about 2 in the morning, after I'd settled for a pint of milk and a piece of cheese and stretched out with a sack of flour for a pillow. Something woke me up. Something near the side entrance.
Why is it? Okay, but I'm grounded. Let's go. Come on.
here till I get set up. Keep an eye open. Here, take this. Nobody shows their face. Use it.
One of them, the bigger one, went to the little office carrying a load of tools with him. But he didn't worry me, but the other one, the one in the white overalls and the hat, worried me a lot. He didn't see me, but I saw him. Your client, Lee. The liar and the thief who'd as soon blow your head off as look at you. His name was LaFaro, and this time he had a gun in his hand.
Autolite is bringing you Miss Agnes Moorehead in Weekend Special Death. Tonight's presentation in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Well, Harlow, I signed up an Autolite Stay Full battery.
Ah, smart move, Stan. You got yourself a real pennant winner. With that great battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use?
And they tell me that Autolite Stay Full has a life that's longer than an umpire's face, Harlow.
Yes, sir, Stan. Fiberglass retaining mats protect every positive plate to reduce shedding and flaking and give the Autolite Stay Full longer life, as proved by tests conducted according to accepted life cycle standards.
The Autolite Stay Full really makes a hit with me, Harlow.
And with everybody who wants a battery with pep, power, and peak performance every time. Friends, visit your Autolite battery dealer. He services all makes of batteries, and if you need a new battery, he has the Autolite Stay Full, the battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. Remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Miss Agnes Moorehead in Elliot Lewis's production of Weekend Special Death, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
When I was in high school, I went with a boy named Rudy. After school, he worked at a filling station with a pay telephone booth in it. And when Rudy wanted to call me, and nickels were very scarce in those days, he had a way of making a call without any money. I remembered Rudy, bless his heart. He's married, has 5 children. And I certainly had a call to make. Well, the 2 men were drilling holes in a safe. One of them had a gun, and I was locked in a supermarket with them, and I wanted to tell somebody. Well, I took off my shoes and got myself up to the telephone booth. I left the door open so the light wouldn't go on, and then I went to work the way Rudy showed me. And I must have done something right. Good old Rudy. Hello? Hello? Is there anybody there? Hello? Oh, please. Hello?
This is the special operator.
Oh, hello?
This is the special operator.
Hello?
This is the special operator. Are you having difficulty?
Oh, I certainly am.
You'll have to speak louder. I can't hear you clearly.
I'm in trouble. I'm locked in
I'm sorry,
Jackson.
miss. I can't hear you.
I can't talk any louder.
What is it, miss?
I'm in trouble. I'm locked in a supermarket. There are too many are trying to open the safe.
Well, this connection's very bad. What number are you calling from?
It doesn't make any difference.
I'll have to know your number before I can help you.
Well, it's Evergreen 50972.
What number are you calling from?
It's Evergreen 50972. Now listen to me. I want you to get the police over here, right?
Very bad, miss. You hang up. I'll phone you right back. See if I can make a proper connection.
Don't hang up. No. Oh.
Hey, what? Oh, that sounds like a phone's off the hook. Isn't this? There's a phone up in that part of the store, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. Watch for me.
What now?
Well, stop, just like that. Well, let's take ourselves a look.
If you heard a phone off the hook, it wasn't this one. Look.
Yeah, I guess I'm getting old or something. Any other phones in this place?
Just this one and the one in the office. You told me that.
Oh, yeah.
Besides, how would a phone get off the hook by itself?
I don't know. How would it?
You may be getting old at that.
I'm not too old to take you in on a job so you can get some money to get yourself out of a jam.
Oh, you old guys, give me a penny.
Ah.
I was behind the Post Toasty display, I think. They were about 10 feet from me. As long as I just saw them and they didn't see me, I was happy. I was willing to let them rob the safe. I was willing to stay in the store all night. I was willing to do anything as long as I didn't get hurt.
Oh. Hey. Oh, what are you going to do?
I'm going to answer.
Well, a minute ago,
That was a minute ago. This is now.
Well, look, you can just let it go and it'll stop ringing. Who calls a pay booth this time of night? The wrong number, you know that.
And I'll tell whoever it is. Hello. Special operator? Yeah. This is Evergreen 50972. No. No, I'm sorry. No one could possibly have called me here in the last 5 hours. I'm the night watchman. Yeah. Thank you. Bradley.
Yeah?
Somebody in here. Trying to use that phone 2 minutes ago. Dang. Yeah. All right, come out, wherever you're hiding.
Hey, you crazy bush, she's got a gun.
He did, she'd have used it by now. Come on, come out! Okay. You take that aisle, I'll take this one.
All right.
There was one advantage. I knew they could have used a flashlight and nobody on the street would have seen it, but they didn't know that. So it all went on in the dark. The chase, I mean. I crawled, they walked, I slithered, they crept. There was one point when I was near the soup counter and they were off in the vegetable market. I thought I was safe. Oh, dear.
Come on, get out.
Bring her back to the office where we can use the light.
Come on, you. All right, take it easy, take it easy. Oh, that's tough, that's real tough. Come on, shut up.
All right, get the door.
Yeah.
Hi. This Dorsey, isn't it?
Oh, you know her?
Yeah. Works for my lawyer.
Oh, swell.
How'd you get in here?
Well, come on, can't you talk?
I was locked in by mistake when they closed the store. I was locked in.
You said that.
I didn't have any change. I couldn't call anyone.
No?
No! I didn't want to be here. I don't care if you rob this store. I don't care what you do. I don't tell anybody.
That's so?
Yes. Just let me go. I won't.
But you did make one call. I'm locked in a supermarket. There are 2 men here. That's about the way it went with the operator, isn't it? You're kind of nice in a certain light. I said that to myself this afternoon. Kind of nice. Stanley says I lie all the time, doesn't he?
I've never discussed you with Mr. Stanley.
What are we going to do?
Huh?
I said, what are we going to do?
Well, we're going to finish the job. I need some money.
Hey, what about her? She's seen both of us. She could pick us out of a show-up mug pile. I got 2 losses already, and so you.
I know.
Well, what are we going to do?
Relax. She isn't going to say anything. Or pick out our pictures.
Huh?
No. We'll kill her, Fred.
He wasn't lying then, Lee. Not one bit. I knew that. I knew it the minute he looked at me. He told me to sit down on the floor facing the wall. I did, expecting a bullet in my back any minute. Instead, I had to sit like that while they went to work on the safe again.
Come on, hurry it up. Hurry it up, will you?
Going as fast as I can. Don't open one of these things in 15 seconds, you know. Doing my best. Ow, lousy.
You pushed it too hard, that's why it broke.
Well, you're pushing me too hard.
Get it open, we haven't got all night.
Just a second.
You, ever seen a safe crack before? Hey, you.
No, I haven't.
Pretty interesting, huh? How are we doing?
Close. Just a little bit here now. Yeah, okay.
Okay. All right, try it.
Okay. No, not yet.
Well, it should be.
Well, I tell you.
All right, let's get loaded up and get out.
Miss Dorsey, that's a very interesting project. Cracking a safe.
I'm sure it is.
Oh, knock it off, will you?
How much you make a week?
$60.
60 a week, huh? Tell me, you know how much I'm making this week for 2 hours' work? Do you?
No.
I'm making... Well, I haven't got time to count it now.
Okay, that's it.
All right, let's go. All right, baby.
Where to?
That way.
Up there?
It's as good a place as any.
Well, the noise.
I'll jam this into one of the flour sacks. We'll kill it.
All right, get the lights and let's get out of here.
I was surprised how anxious I was to live, even with those 2 men on the same planet with me. My eyes were pretty used to the dark by the time we were out in the aisle, passing the ginger ale display. You ever break a plate glass window? Well, I did.
Leave that bottle. You liar. Oh, you crazy fool, you hit me. Fred! Fred! Where are you? Where are you? Alarm or no alarm, I'm going to get you, baby, and get you good. Are you scared? Scared, are you? Running won't do you any good. I'll get you sooner or later before you get out of here. Sooner or later!
I've been falling over things all night long. This time it was the other one. The dead one.
Sooner or later, baby!
I didn't see it in the dark on the floor, but I felt it. His gun!
That enough for you, Lieutenant?
Yeah, that's plenty.
Can I go home now?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You don't want to hold around these charges that homicide was justifiable?
Yeah, well, that isn't what worries me.
Well, what does? What have I done now?
Rudy. What was his last name?
Huh?
He may still be walking around making free phone calls. Maybe I want to talk to him.
You're my lawyer. What do I say to him?
Nothing, baby. You said enough. Come on, I'll take you home.
Night.
Suspense. Presented by Autolite. Tonight's star, Miss Agnes Moorehead.
This is Harlow Wilcox for Autolite, the world's largest independent manufacturer of automotive electrical equipment. In 28 plants from coast to coast, the men and women of Autolite build over 400 products for cars, trucks, tractors, planes, boats, and industry. Autolite contributes its manufacturing experience and skills to the fields of transportation, electronics, agriculture, die casting, and plastics. The Autolite name is famous all over the world for products of unsurpassed quality and performance. In service, too, Autolite facilities are worldwide. Wherever you travel, you'll find trained experts prepared to serve you. So, for superior products, always look for the name Autolite, because from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
Next week, the true story of an escape to freedom in which it has been necessary to change the names of all the principal participants in order that their survivors, still imprisoned, may live. It's called Listen, Young Lovers. Our stars, Mona Freeman and Robert Wagner. That's next week on Suspense. Suspense is transcribed and directed by Elliot Lewis, with music composed by Lucian Morowick and conducted by Lud Gluskin. Weekend Special Death was written for suspense by E. Jack Newman. In tonight's story, Anthony Barrett was heard as Tony and Joseph Kearns as Fred. Featured in the cast were Hy Averback, Whitfield Connor, Mary Jane Croft, and Barney Phillips.
Agnes Moorehead is now appearing in the Universal production of The Magnificent Obsession and will start on tour in October in her one-woman show, The Fabulous Redhead.
And remember, next week, Mona Freeman and Robert Wagner in Listen, Young Lovers.
You can buy Autolite Stay Full batteries, Autolite Original Service Parts, or Autolite Standard or Resistor-type spark plugs at your neighborhood Autolite dealers. Switch to Autolite. Good night.
More than 500,000 children and adults are afflicted with cerebral palsy. Your dollars will help to cure and prevent this disease. Will you send a contribution tonight to your local affiliate of United Cerebral Palsy? This is the CBS Radio Network.
And there you go, from 70 years ago, May 24th, 1954, Suspense here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Coming up next, an episode of Mr. District Attorney from its very final season, May 24th, 1953, 71 years ago.
Did you know that annually in our country, 340,000 homes are destroyed by fire? 11,000 lives and hundreds of millions of dollars are lost in these fires in homes. Don't run the risk in your own home of a costly and tragic fire, which can be prevented. Check now and regularly on the 5 simple points of fire prevention. First, don't smoke in bed or discard cigarettes or matches carelessly. 2, clean out old rags, newspapers, and other inflammables from the closets, attic, and cellar. 3, repair or replace broken or defective electrical wiring or electrical equipment. 4, use non-inflammable cleaning fluids. And 5, keep matches in a safe place, out of the reach of small children. It is a simple fact that nearly all the fires which destroy American homes could be prevented if these simple rules are followed. So, follow them in your own homes. Remember, don't gamble with fire. You can't win.
Visit my webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can stream our shows, learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can find our social media links, and of course, you can buy me a coffee. That's at classicradio.stream, classicradio.stream. All right, now an episode of Mr. District Attorney, the final season, starring David Bryan, from 71 years ago, May 24th, 1953, in the case of the Moving Van Murders.
Mr. District Attorney, starring David Bryan. Mr. District Attorney, champion of the people, defender of truth, guardian of our fundamental rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
And now, tonight's story, the case of the Moving Van Murders.
And now, here is our star, David Bryan, as Paul Garrett, Mr. District Attorney.
A man's home is said to be his castle, and it's up to the forces of law and order to uphold this principle. But the individual householder should exercise diligence in maintaining the security of his domicile, particularly when the family leaves for a vacation. As in the story you are about to hear, this is the time when thieves often move in.
Oh, now, look what you've done. What's the matter with you, anyhow? Don't you know how to handle a piece of furniture?
Listen, it was just as much your fault. You were supposed to balance it.
I ought to poke you right in the mouth.
Don't try it. There'll be more furniture busted around here and over your head.
Easton ain't gonna like it when we show up with that piece all marred up.
Let's leave it here. Easton don't have to know nothing about it. We've been here too long now anyway. Some of the neighbors might be getting wise.
What's that?
Sounds like somebody coming. What's going on here? Who
are you men?
We're moving these people out. Who are you?
I just happen to be the owner of this house, that's all. We thought you were away.
Shut up.
You thought I was away on vacation, is that it? I think you're a couple of crooks. I'm going to call the police about this.
Oh, you ain't calling up police, buddy.
That's what you think.
Hey, get up, Brody. Here.
Let's get out of here.
Get going fast. I didn't hit him square enough to keep him down.
I'm not wasting no time.
Yeah, here he comes. He's going to chase us in the car.
That ain't gonna get him nothing but trouble.
Take the road to the park, Duke. Ain't much traffic there.
Yeah, that gives me an idea. Hang on.
Yeah, here he comes right after us.
Well, there's a park right up ahead. That's where we'll take care of him.
What are you going to do?
Just hang on tight. You'll see.
No real rough stuff, Duke. I don't want to kill him.
You want to end up in a pen?
No, I don't want to end up in a pen.
And we gotta take care of this guy. We can't lose that car. You know that, don't you?
We can get out and slug him again.
Too complicated. There's only one way to do this.
Hey, he's going to try to crowd us over, Duke. Get in front of us.
He's gonna be sorry.
Watch it, Duke. Watch it.
Let him watch it. This is where he gets it.
You got him, Duke. He's catching fire.
That's his tough luck. We're getting out of here.
Hiya, Chief. I've been wondering if you'd get here.
Hello, Harrington. Now, I was in court when Miss Miller reached me with your message. She said something about a man being killed in a fight with moving men.
Well, that's my idea, Chief, and I'll tell you why. First, a man by the name of Meyer was run off the park road about 2 hours ago. Car caught fire, and when they pulled him out of it, well, you know what.
Yeah, that's a hard way to die.
Lucky for us, there were a couple of kids playing ball in the park. They said it was a hit and run with a truck involved.
Did they say what kind of a truck?
A moving van. And when I got here to the man's address, I find the doors wide open, the house empty of furniture, and this hat on the floor. Now, the neighbors say they noticed the moving van, and it didn't have any name on it. The whole thing was covered by a big canvas. I've got a theory.
The furniture was being stolen.
Check. Mr. Meyer happened to walk in on them unexpectedly. They clobbered him and got going. But he chased them, and that leads us to the wreck in the park.
I think you've got it, Harrington. Now, let's take a look through the house. Well, I left the phone anyway. Wonder if it's still hooked up.
It is. I called Miss Miller from here.
Oh. Wait a minute, here's something. Looks like a furniture pad.
Yeah, that belonged to the moving van.
It's a brand new one, too. Let's see if we can find the name of the maker on it.
Here it is, Chief. The Acme Awning Company, 234 Front Street.
Where's that phone?
District Attorney's office.
Hello, Miss Miller.
Oh, Mr. Garrett, did you find Harrington?
Yes, I'm with him right now. I'd like you to check up on something for me, Miss Miller.
All right, Chief.
Now, this thing looks like a robbery and a murder setup. Some crooks emptying a house of furniture killed the owner of the place when he showed up unexpectedly. And we've got just one real clue. A furniture pad.
Furniture pad?
Those big canvas pads that moving men use to protect furniture.
Oh, sure.
Call the Acme Awning Company, 234 Front Street.
I've got it.
If they've sold more than one, get the names of all the buyers.
All right, Mr. Garrett.
We'll see you later at the office.
I only hope the awning company has a record on it.
I hope so, too. Oh, and there's something else.
Huh? What's that, Chief?
We'll need a list of the items of furniture that were taken.
Well, neighbors ought to be able to help out on that.
That's a good idea. Let's try them.
There's Easton waiting for us. We're going to tell him about that guy?
I'm going to tell him plenty.
Get that truck to the back end of the lot. I told you before about leaving it here.
I want to talk to you.
So you want to talk to me? Brody can drive it back, can he?
Okay, I'll drive it back.
Getting in kind of late, ain't you, Duke? Listen, Easton, that's your fault.
What are you talking about?
I'll tell you what I'm talking about. You got us into a mess because you didn't have that job case right.
You got the furniture, didn't you?
Yeah, you said those people were going to be away.
They were away.
Then why did the guy come walking in on us?
So he happened to come home.
You can't figure out everything. He come home all right. And we had to run him off the road to keep him from chasing us right into this yard.
All right, so you got rid of him. What are you beefing about?
I figure we took a big chance this time. I figure we ought to have a bigger cut.
Duke. You got a nerve coming in here and talking to me like that. You know, I got a notion to throw you right out in your face.
Don't get tough with me, Easton. I wouldn't like it.
No. Well, let's see how you like this. I'm running this show, Duke. You do like I say.
Why, you...
I'll show you like this. Like I said, Duke, I'm running the show. You're a good man. You want to play it smart and stay with me, all right. But tell me, right now. Okay. You're with me. That ain't answering the question. Okay. So I'll stay with you. That means you're taking orders and no beats. Okay. All right. Now look, with that new load we got, there's too much in the warehouse. You and Brody take the rig over there and load up for a trip out of town. Where? I'll tell you later. Looks like we got company. Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
You the owner here?
That's right. Who are you?
Name is Harrington. This is Mr. Garrett, district attorney.
Yeah? What do you want me for?
The sign says you rent out trucks.
That's why I put the sign up there.
I'm going back and help Brody, Mr. Easton.
In just a minute. You work here?
Yeah.
What kind of work do you do?
I just work around the yard, moving trucks, that kind of thing.
What's your name?
Duke Conlon.
How long have you worked here?
6 months, maybe. Ain't that right, Mr. Easton?
Yeah, that's about right.
Anything else, mister?
No, that'll be all for now.
What do you mean, for now?
Did you rent out any trucks today, Easton?
Look, what's this all about? You come in here asking a lot of questions. Why should I have to tell you my business?
A house was robbed a few hours ago. All the furniture was shoved into a truck and carted away. When the owner tried to stop it, he was run off the road and killed.
So what's that got to do with me?
The truck left a pad behind that came from this lot.
A pad?
A canvas-covered furniture pad. We checked with the awning company that made it. They said it was sold to you.
Oh, now, wait a minute. I run a truck rental yard. I rent out rigs to whoever comes in here and puts up the price. If somebody used one of my trucks to pull a robbery, I can't help it. I got no control over what they do when they leave the lot.
How many trucks did you rent out today?
3 or 4, maybe.
Are you all back?
Yeah, they're all back.
Could we see your records for the day?
Yeah, just a second. I'll get them for you.
What do you think about this setup, Chief?
I don't like the looks of it.
No, I don't either. Look, there's another guy at the back of the lot. This is a pretty small place. They all work here. They must be tripping over one another.
Here comes our man back.
Look, I've been thinking about this. Why should I give you my records?
Well, they could be important to our investigation.
Sorry, nothing doing.
We've got ways of getting them, you know.
Sure you have. And when you come in here with a court order, I'll hand them over. But not until.
You don't want to help us at all, do you?
Why should I? Nobody pays me to be a cop.
Let's go, Harrington.
Yeah, that guy's got a disposition like a bucket of worms. Why don't we just take him in? Might not be so lippy when we get him downtown.
We need something specific to go on.
What about the pad?
He's got the answer for that. It could have been lost by someone who rented a truck.
You don't believe that. Neither do I. But he's going to dummy up a phony record that'll make it look that way. Then he can blame the robbery on someone who doesn't even exist.
Now, that's the reason he won't let us see those records right now. But I might surprise him by getting here with a court order before he expects it.
Now, why would they be driving that big van off the lot? Hey, did you see who was at the wheel?
Yes, the yard man.
They got a gas pump here and a lube rack. No reason to drive it out when it's not rented.
Unless they want to move some furniture on their own. This could be the break we're looking for. I can take a cab into town. Get in your car and follow them.
Right.
With the family away on a vacation, a home has been broken into by crooks who loaded the furnishings into a moving van. But the man of the house had appeared unexpectedly, and the crooks had killed him. An important clue was a heavy canvas furniture pad that we traced to a truck rental yard. The operator of the yard, a man named Easton, refused to help us. So while I went to pick up a court order to compel his cooperation, Harrington followed a truck that left the yard under suspicious circumstances.
District Attorney's office.
Here's Harrington, Miss Miller. Chief come in yet?
Not yet, Harrington. Any message?
Just tell him I followed the truck to a warehouse on Stacy Street, 312. I'm calling from a phone booth right near the place.
You going to make an arrest? Will you need help?
I don't know yet. I'm going in now and find out.
Okay, Duke, come back a little more. A little more. That's it.
All right, let's get this thing loaded.
You got the key?
Right here. Give me a hand.
Man, that's a lot of furniture we got here.
A lot of dough in it, too. Let's get going.
How about this one to start with?
Okay. Latch on.
All set?
Check.
Good. Yeah, this is all fancy stuff. They ought to be able to peddle it quick.
Now, the quicker the better.
Uh-oh.
Put it down.
It's a cop.
Better let me handle it.
I thought you fellas were supposed to be in the truck rental business.
We are.
What do you do, rent them furnished?
This is just a moving job we're taking care of.
Quite a job. Who are you doing it for?
We have to ask the boss about that.
I don't see the boss around.
You can find him if you go back to the lot.
You'd like me to do that, wouldn't you?
I don't know what you mean.
Let's go inside and see what you've got in there.
Listen, mister, we got work to do. We got no time to gab with you.
You can take time.
I'll stay out here and load this piece into the van.
Wait a minute. You better come in with us. Let's go. You've got enough stuff here to stock a department store.
Well, that's a warehouse. That's what it's for.
Where did all this furniture come from?
Well, like I said before, why don't you talk to the boss?
Did you fellas bring any of this stuff here?
Yeah.
Where'd you pick it up?
Different places.
What kind of places?
Houses, stores, I don't know.
This table here. Where did it come from?
I don't remember.
Well, I think I can tell you where it came from.
I don't see how you can.
An oval dining table, antique pine. That happens to be on a list of articles stolen from a house this morning. There's more in this same group that are on the list. You want to hear them?
Why tell us about it?
Because you probably brought them here.
Oh, you're crazy.
You're under arrest, both of you.
What for?
Suspicion of burglary and homicide.
What do you mean, homicide?
The owner of that house was run off the road and burned to death. You're going to have to tell us about that, too. Let's head for my car.
They ain't heading nowhere, mister. Don't you make any moves or you get a bullet through your back.
Well, boss.
Yeah, that's right. The boss.
It's a good thing you got here, Easton. He was going to haul us in.
He never had a chance. I followed you and I followed him.
You people are in a mess. Now, if you're smart, you won't make it any worse than it is.
Yeah? What should we do? Roll over and play dead? Look, I don't figure it's going to get any worse than it is. All right, get his gun, Duke.
Yeah, you...
There.
Now, listen. You're under arrest, too, Easton. And I'm warning all of you. Anything you say might be used as evidence.
These guys never know when they're losers, do they?
Shut up. What are you going to do with him, Easton?
Well, I ain't going to let him picket the place. I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. Yeah. I know to take care of him for a while.
Yeah, but what about when he comes out of it? This guy knows all of us. He can identify
Don't
us.
worry, I got plans for him. All right, pick him up.
All right, come on, Brody.
Yeah. Brother, is he out?
That's what we want. All right.
Take him out to the van. Yeah.
Mr. Garrett, better keep the engine running.
Is something wrong, Miss Miller?
I was hoping I could catch you down here.
Oh, what's the matter?
Harrington phoned a while ago.
What'd he say?
He said he followed a truck to a warehouse on Stacy Street. Said he was going to move in and might make an arrest, and I got the feeling he might need help.
Get in. What was the number on Stacy Street?
312. I probably shouldn't have left the office, but I knew you'd be driving into the parking lot, and I thought this might be urgent.
You did just right. It could be urgent.
All set? Yeah, we're all set. That guy still unconscious? He's out cold. He ain't dead, is he? No, he's still breathing. That's too bad. Hey, where are you going?
Well, I was just going around back.
Come here.
What do you want?
Trying to sneak away, huh?
Well, I didn't have nothing to do with this thing, and I think you guys in pretty deep.
What do you mean you didn't have nothing to do with it? Look, you're in with us. Right up to the top of your yellow streak.
No, wait a minute, Easton. I didn't hire on to commit murder.
You're gonna do like I say.
You can't kill cops and get away with it.
We can't leave this one alive and get away with it. He's right, Brody. We gotta do it.
Not me. I'm getting out of here.
Now, you try that again and the next one goes through your back.
Okay, Easton, okay.
Get in the truck with Duke. How do we do this, Easton? Head north out of town. To the freeway? No, not to the freeway. We want some privacy on this job. Head for the road alongside the river. Okay. Where on that road? Turn off just before you get to the bridge. To the right, there's a road there. Yeah, I know. Go about 100 yards and then pull over. I'll follow you. What about this guy's car? I'll be in it. When we get through with him, we'll leave his car alongside the road so it'll look like an accident. That's a good idea. Go on, get going. Come on, Brody.
I hope I'm all wrong about this, but when Harrington says he'll call, he usually calls.
Well, you'll soon find out if anything's wrong. Here's the warehouse.
You gonna drive right in?
Might be better if we stop right here across the street. Doesn't seem to be a truck there.
Mr. Garrett, wasn't that Harrington's car?
Certainly was, with a stranger driving it.
Then something must have happened to Harrington.
Yeah, it looks that way.
You better stay with that car, Chief.
Don't worry, I will.
We're almost there, ain't we, Duke?
Yeah, you asked me that a dozen times already.
Well, Easton ain't behind us yet.
Don't worry about Easton. He knows where we're gonna be.
I don't like this deal, Duke, you know that?
Yeah, you already said so, but we're going through with it anyway, so come on. Let's get him out of there.
He's conscious.
All right, you. Get out.
I'd be delighted. Here comes Easton.
I told you he'd show up.
That's another one against him. Stealing a car.
Keep your mouth shut. Good. You got him out of there. Better close the doors, Brody.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get him down the river. Come on, Cap. Move.
Well, what are we going to do with him?
We're going to hold his head on until he drowns. Then we'll put him in his car and run it into the river. Does that sound all right? Sounds great.
Not to me, nice and hard.
You try that again and you get a bullet right through the head right now.
A minute ago, you said you were going to drown me. You mean I got a choice?
Let's get him down there. It'll be easier to do this if we tie his feet, Easton. All right. Take off your belt and strap him up.
Fellas are crazy if you think you can get away with this.
Who's going to find out about it? That's right, cop. They're going to have a hard enough time just finding you. Come on, Duke. Get the belt off. We'll use Brody's belt.
You'll stay right where you are without moving.
Cops! Go on, shoot some more, Cappy. I got your man in front of me. Go on, shoot some more.
Just think you got me, Easton. We're both going into the
All right, don't try to get away.
Oh, I quit, mister. I'm not trying to go nowhere.
My arm. I think you broke my arm.
You were firing at me. I had to do something about it.
I'll take care of him, Chief.
All right. Up the bank.
Give me time. You twisted most of the breath out of me.
You all right, Harrington?
Yeah.
fine, Chief. But how did you happen to get there?
Oh, you can thank Miss Miller for that. She had an idea you might be able to use a little help.
Oh, and was she right? Thanks, Miss Miller.
Anytime, Harrington.
How's the man's arm?
I'm all right.
You're all under arrest.
Yeah? What for?
Several things, including murder.
Not me. I didn't kill nobody.
Then you'd better be ready to tell us all about it.
You keep your mouth shut, Brody, you hear me?
You're wasting your breath, Easton. With a bunch like this, somebody always sings. Loud and long.
And you're going to find that out the hard way, Easton. Come on, let's go. This was a case that hit the front page. The man we called Duke was tried and convicted of murder in the first degree. With Brody, he was also found guilty on charges of breaking and entering and burglary. Easton was convicted for receiving stolen goods, for being an accessory before and after the fact, for conspiracy to commit murder and assault with intent to commit murder. Duke and Easton will spend most of their lives in prison. Brody received a lighter sentence for turning state's evidence. Now, this is David Bryan inviting you to join us when we present our next case based on the facts of crime from the file of Mr. District Attorney.
An Armed Forces Radio Network edition of Mr. District Attorney, as it was broadcast in the U.S. May 24th, 1953. The Armed Forces recordings will pay us off tomorrow, as a couple of the ones we'll hear tomorrow are Armed Forces recordings. We'll have an episode of Suspense from 1943, the first airing of Sorry Wrong Number. An episode from 1958, which I believe is an Armed Forces recording, called Like Man, Somebody Dig Me. And then 2 years, Truly Johnny Dollars, one from 1958 with Bob Bailey, the other from 1954 with John Lund, and an episode of Claudia. Speaking of Claudia, we'll hear from her in a moment.
How many times do you drive along the highway at a pretty fast clip and come upon a policeman at the side of the road writing out a ticket for some unfortunate traffic law violator? What happens? Almost automatically, you slow down to a sensible speed and pay more attention to driving safely. Nobody likes to get a traffic summons, but it's only by even stricter law enforcement that we're ever going to cut down on the shocking and shameful death and accident rate on our highways. That's why we should all get behind local and state safety programs and support any measures that will make driving a pleasure instead of a risk. A proper safety program includes not only more rigid enforcement of traffic laws and stiffer penalties for violating them, but also better public education on safer, saner driving habits and the elimination of dangerous stretches of highway. The surest way to cut down on accidents, though, is for all of us, motorists and pedestrians alike, to be more careful and more sensible about how we drive and walk. Let's all work together to save more lives on the road. It's up to you.
By the way, those of you who listen to us over on YouTube, we get no revenue from YouTube. And YouTube's really quite a jerk about monetizing old-time radio channels, even those with as much commentary as we do. So if you'd like to help me out, like to support the program, go to classicradio.stream. That is classicradio.stream. There's a couple things to purchase there. You can also buy me a copy, and you can also learn something there. Lots of information about collecting old-time radio programs. classicradio.stream. Now let's go and see what's going on with Claudia and David. This episode from 76 years ago, May 24th, 1948.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia, based on the famous play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you transcribed Monday through Friday by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
Dum 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 dum.
Pass me the cream, darling.
Here you are, here you are, here you are.
You're very cheerful this morning, Mrs. Norton.
Any objections, Mrs. Brown?
Not a one.
I woke up cheerful. For no reason at all.
What do you mean for no reason at all? There are plenty of reasons.
No, Gertrude.
Now that you mention it,
That is rather a relief.
Something nice and private about eating breakfast without a maid around, isn't there?
It is cozy.
That's not the half of it.
Oh, you. I know why you like it. You like it because you don't dare tell Gertrude you won't eat her prunes and cereal. When it's only me, you don't eat.
Well, I'm eating.
Orange juice, toast, and coffee. What kind of breakfast is that for a farmer?
I'm not a farmer. I'm an architect.
Very convenient. When you want to be a farmer, you're a farmer. When you don't want to eat, you're an architect. Go on. Starve yourself for all I care. Only Gertrude will be here any minute. Then watch out.
I shall flee like a rabbit.
Like a coward.
You too. You're worse than children.
What's the matter with children, grandmother?
Nothing. When they're children.
How about another piece of toast, darling?
All right. Just one. Mother, flip the jigger on the toaster, would you please?
Hey, what's the matter with me flipping the jigger? The toaster's nearer to me.
You are not to overexert yourself.
Making toast is not exerting.
Well, it's a symbol.
David's right. I shall make the toast.
Honestly. I was a mere simple woman, not a future mother.
Only 4 weeks of future left.
Thank goodness.
I shall ignore the interruptions. As I said, when I was a mere simple woman, I was perfectly able to make the toast just to my husband's taste.
Are you trying to tell me I'm usurping your wifely rights?
I am.
Good. That's exactly what I'm here for.
And the more you usurp these next few weeks, Mother, the happier I'll be. Pass the zerp, will you? Now,
Yes,
darling, we're opening
zerp.
up a brand new week, so tell me how you're going to spend it.
I'm not going to spend it. I'm going to waste it.
Claudia hates to spend anything, David.
No, I just like to get my money's worth out of my time. If I don't, it's wasting it.
Then how do you plan to waste it, darling?
Doing nothing. I'm perfectly resigned, willing, and cheerful to spend the next 4 weeks sitting up here on the farm like a log.
Like a bump.
Like anything that just sits and sits and sits and
My,
sits.
that's good news, David.
I am going to be a vegetable, completely and utterly a vegetable. If that's what you want me to be.
Oh, I'm very fond of vegetables.
Except beets and spinach and eggplant and squash and...
Be like a bean, darling.
A
You know
bean?
my passion for beans.
I've been a bean for weeks.
Well, it's been very becoming.
Oh.
You're looking fine.
Thank you. Same to you, Mama. How about another cup of coffee, David?
No, thanks. Mine's still warm.
Oh, you're lucky going into New York like a man every morning.
I happen to be a man.
Just your luck, so don't brag.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Gertrude.
Good
You managed
morning,
to get
Gertrude.
breakfast without Gertrude?
We managed, but just.
Sorry, couldn't make it. I was planning buckwheat cakes.
Oh, it's perfectly all right, Gertrude, really.
I make fine buckwheat cakes, but my late husband's sister come in on the train, and I felt I had to be there at the station to call out welcome.
I'd have felt exactly the same way to Gertrude.
I met the mail woman at the post office, so I brought along your mail.
Oh, marvelous mail at breakfast, just like New York.
Not much of it. Couple of letters, some bills, and a seed catalog. Here you are.
Oh, thanks.
Well, guess I'll be going. Lot to be done. No time for prattling, anyway. I sure'd like to get my hands on cleaning out the cellar.
Marvelous, marvelous woman, Gertrude. Has her faults, but a marvelous woman.
Who's the mail from, Claudia?
I'm just looking at it. Oh, here's a letter for you, David. From the hardware store.
An ad.
And one from Henpeck Farm.
Another ad. What's that letter there, under the seed catalog?
Where?
Here, right there.
Oh, yes, I didn't notice it.
Probably just another ad for a change.
No, it's for me.
Oh, congratulations.
It's from... Well, for heaven's sakes, I wonder what it's about. I just can't believe it's for me.
Such an event for the poor child to get a letter. Touching, isn't it, David?
Yes, tears start to my eyes.
Can't imagine what it's about.
You said that already.
Come
I
on,
did?
Claudia, open it. You get me nervous just sitting there looking at it.
I'm opening it. Give me half a chance.
I'll bet it's an ad.
Well, I'll
It's not an
be-
ad, David. It's a bill for something she bought and forgot.
Dear Miss Brown, I think... Well, I couldn't be more surprised.
And she forgot how expensive it was, too.
She's so quiet, Mother. Must be fascinating.
It is. It's the most amazing thing that ever happened to me.
What has happened to you?
Well, it's just,
A letter from an old admirer?
well, in a way, yes. It's the last thing on earth I expected to get in the mail.
A letter? Nothing unusual about getting a letter in the mail.
Now, shh, both of you. I want to read it again.
My, what a dreamy look in your eyes, darling.
And pink spots on your cheeks.
David,
What, darling?
Would it be absolutely terrible of me to go into,
Go on, say it.
Nothing much. What's tomorrow, David?
Tomorrow.
Tuesday.
I know it's Tuesday. What's the date?
May 25th.
Today is the 24th.
24. Mama, what are you doing tomorrow?
I got an appointment with my knitting needles and the Adirondack chair under the apple tree at 9 a.m. sharp. Why?
No reason. I just thought if you were going to be here all day, you could take care of Gertrude and Bluff and Shakespeare, that's all.
Why should I be the zookeeper? Where are you going to be?
Oh, no place special, but I thought I'd run down to New York for the day.
Say that again.
You don't have to look like that, both of you. New York is not the moon.
My dear young carrots and peas, just a few minutes ago you announced that you were utterly resigned to be utterly a vegetable on the farm.
Oh, that was utterly a few minutes ago, old turnip. That was before...
Before the famous letter that shook the world.
If you don't tell me what's in that letter, I'll wring your neck.
Mother. I draw the line at using force.
Now, it isn't really anything important. It's just that I feel I want to go to New York. Is that so awful?
You're not making sense.
It's not that I want to have a secret from you, darling. It's just that I don't want to tell you, that's all.
Well, why did you say so in the first place, in that case?
Darling, you're angry.
Angry? Me? Ridiculous.
You promise?
I don't have to promise. Only women are so nosy that they can't bear not knowing what's in another person's private mail.
Oh, it must be wonderful to be a man and have no petty vices.
It is wonderful.
Ha!
So wonderful that I'm going to put on my hat and coat and go to New York and leave you to all your little plots and make-believe letters.
David, is it all right about tomorrow?
What about it?
What have we been talking about? Going to New York, of
Darling,
course.
if you want to go, New York would love to have you.
Oh, thank you.
And on its behalf, I extend to you an invitation.
And I accept.
I must admit, this is all above my head. How would you like to drive me to the station?
I'll be ready when you are.
Well, now, Claudia, confess.
Confess what?
Enough's enough. I'm your mother.
Maybe you're right. Mothers are different. Maybe that's why I don't want to tell David.
Tell him what? Claudia, are you feeling all right?
Feeling marvelous. Never felt better.
If you're not, if you're going into New York to see the doctor, if you're using a silly letter as an excuse, I
wouldn't do that, Mama. That's too serious to pretend about.
All right. I'll take your word for it. You don't have to tell me any more.
But I have every intention of telling you, Mama. I just don't want to tell David. I mean, not yet. Mama, this letter was from Jim Varney.
Jim Varney? Never heard of him.
He's a Broadway theatrical producer.
What on earth is he doing writing to you?
That is just the point. He's writing to me because he's opening a summer theater in Eastbrook this summer, and he wants to know if I'd be interested in acting with his company.
He must be mad.
Speaks my one and only loving parent.
But, Claudia, you're not an actress.
Well, Jim Varney doesn't seem to agree with you. He saw me in a play at dramatic school, he says, and that's why he wants to see me.
I think it's because you're convenient. You'll be a neighbor of his theater.
So will you be. He didn't ask you.
But why on earth didn't you tell David?
Well, because nothing's settled, and I thought maybe David'd be hurt a little.
Hurt? Because his wife's a potential Sarah Bernhardt?
Well, maybe he'd think I wasn't satisfied with just living up here on the farm and being a mother. Then if the job doesn't come through, he'd have been hurt for nothing.
Every now and then you show a little sense.
And I am satisfied, Mama, only... Well, this is a chance to act. And I love it, Mama.
I don't know how the theater's gotten on without you.
Oh, you. Then it's settled. I'll go into New York tomorrow and see Mr. Varney.
May I at least warn you that your Mr. Varney is going to be a bit surprised when he sees you?
Why? He says to come.
He says for you to come. He doesn't expect a whole family.
Oh, what?
I don't think he expects to see you looking, well, so very much like a mother.
Well, I don't look so much like a mother. Besides, I'm not going to look like this forever.
It's always a little difficult to make a strange man realize that.
You forget that Mr. Varney saw me before I was having a baby. Mama, you know, I don't think you want me to go and see him tomorrow.
I don't want you to be disappointed.
Oh, I won't be. Let's see now. I've got a navy blue suit that makes me look positively sylph-like.
I'd like to see the sylphs you have in mind.
You will. Mama, you know it's funny. Just now at breakfast, I was perfectly contented. Beautiful day. You here. David sweet and darling. Everything perfect. Now all I can think of is being an actress again. I could kick myself.
Wait. When David finds out what this big secret's about, he'll probably save you the trouble.
Shh, here he is. Don't you tell him or I'll never forgive you.
Well, are you all ready to go to the station?
I'm all ready and willing, darling.
What about you, Mother?
No, thank you. My knitting's waiting. Baby blankets take such a long time.
You know, Mother, you have an extraordinary daughter.
That's no news to me, David.
She really had me fooled.
I had you fooled, how?
Well, you fooled me into thinking you really received an important letter. It wasn't until I got out from under the spell of your performance that I realized how I'd been taken in.
But David, it's true. I'm going to New York tomorrow.
Of course you are, if you want to. You don't have to pretend about a letter.
Such a fuss about nothing.
But David, I'm not pretending.
You see, Mother, your daughter is really quite a little actress.
Mama, did you hear him? David, say that again, please.
Yes, sir. You certainly had me fooled. I said you're really quite a little actress.
Oh, darling, that is the most beautiful thing you ever said to me. And for once, I certainly hope you're right. Dum dum dee dum dum, la 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 la.
When you run into a friend at the market these days, why not step over to the familiar red cooler and invite her to pause and refresh? Over a friendly Coca-Cola, you can relax and visit. You'll find Coke coolers in more and more food stores now, as well as in service stations and department stores. They certainly make pleasant spots to enjoy a refreshing interlude.
What do you think of my daughter, Mr. King?
Claudia? Oh, I think she's wonderful.
I think she's mad. She really seems convinced that she's going to get that summer theater job.
Maybe she will.
Maybe she won't. I hope she won't be too disappointed if she doesn't.
Well, we don't have long to wait till we find out. Just till tomorrow.
By hook or by crook, she's going to get herself into New York tomorrow. That's much I'm sure of.
Without telling David?
That's her intention. Of course, I don't think Claudia can keep a secret from David.
How many women can?
I wish it were tomorrow and I knew how this were all going to turn out. I'm a little bit worried.
Well, I don't blame you, but tomorrow will come very quickly. See you then, Mrs. Brown. Every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere. These broadcasts are adapted for radio by Manya and Roger Starr, and the entire production is supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney.
And we'll hear what happens in New York City tomorrow with another episode of Claudia. Today's episode was from 76 years ago, May 24th, 1948. Tomorrow, as we said, a pair from Suspense, a pair from yours truly, Johnny Dollar and Claudia. We will see you mañana. Webpage, classicradio.stream. And for Classic Radio Theater, I'm Wyatt Cox.